that's
Okay. I'm trying to not block your board too much, but I
okay.
need to be able to read.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, fine.
Hello, people.
Howdy, everybody.
Okay, just a warning. These live streams for trade deadline always have a ton of people. I cannot read all the comments. Has nothing to do with what your favorite team is.
What about your favorite
I know.
team?
People do always assume I'm not reading certain comments because of their favorite team. And I don't really care.
So. And all I'm doing today, because in previous trade deadline live streams, the board's been completely filled up with trades, and I've needed multiple boards, and it just gets ridiculous. So I'm just putting up here who's been added by each team today. So Kakanen's been added by San Jose.
How do I feel about Fleury? Woohoo! That's my thoughts on that. I hate the Oilers. I don't hate the Oilers. I really like their old copper jerseys. If they could go back to the copper, I'd be really happy.
Yep, agree with that.
So that's my opinion on the Oilers. If you write in all caps or you have a gajillion emojis, I will not read your comment.
But they're the obnoxious comments you're supposed to.
And that's why I don't do it. I have 3 children. I know how to ignore those being obnoxious.
My daughter, if she texted me and she was
clearly hate the Canucks.
If she was texting me and she was using instead of the word 4, she just wrote the number 4, I wouldn't answer her.
Right?
And I would tell her when I saw her, I'd be like, if you want me to answer, you use full words. I didn't send you to school every day for the last 12 years. So you start using numbers instead.
Fleury did get traded.
Yes.
And I am totally good with that.
Yeah, and Kakanен ends up in San Jose. Be interesting to see who they keep between Hill and Reimer. I guess Hill's going to be out. He hasn't been traded yet, though. Of course, Hill's been hurt.
The chat is not too fast yet.
It shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah,
I've got slow mode on.
I love slow mode. I'm really glad they brought it back.
Yeah, because they made it so you couldn't get into slow mode for a while there.
I'm a big fan of slow mode. How do you keep the cats from eating the rabbits?
Cats don't eat rabbits?
That's not how it works. You know how people can have dogs? You know how you can have a dog and a cat as pets? Together. Same sort of thing, but not even as difficult. We just had to watch when they were tiny babies. Yeah, we had to watch when the babies were buddies, especially with Shadow.
Yes.
The cats used to be afraid of the rabbits. It was funny.
He swats at the rabbits maybe a couple of times a day, but then I tell him off every time.
Play, I think. Pixel does too, but her, it's definitely play. What is Max Domi worth, and where does he go? They don't fight. Based on
the current market, I would think Domi should be worth at least a second. Maybe a mid-round pick and a prospect. I don't think Domi will go a place where he's been before. I'd be interested to see Max Domi in Toronto. I would love to see Domi. I don't know how Toronto would make that work out of the cap, but I think that would be a lot of fun if he ended up in. And it might work with him in Toronto, too.
We need a hippo. The baby bunnies look like hippos. Yeah, we did call them house hippos. Yeah, they don't look so hippo-y now. They used to. In light of the Scott Hall passing away, have you considered doing career retrospective type video of him on TEG like you do for hockey players?
I will do something on Scott Hall. I was meaning to do a wrestling video on the weekend and just it got away from me. But I'm going to do a couple wrestling videos in the upcoming weeks anyways on TEG.
Will the Preds do anything today?
The Preds, I thought they already had. So I'm going through the trades that have already taken place. I don't like the way that the NHL sets this up. It should just be a table. It's not a table. So, but I thought the Preds already had done something. They picked up somebody in the chat's going to mention it. They had picked up somebody.
Kulak to the Oilers. Still not sure what Montreal is getting back.
Nope. Yeah, Kulak's going to help them on the blue line. And for the Rangers, they pick up Justin Braun. I haven't seen what the return is on that one yet.
I see Preds got Lauzon.
Yes, Jeremy Lauzon. I'll throw that on.
Lauzon. Okay, I knew I was going to pronounce it wrong. Be prepared. I pronounce that wrong too. Pronounce a lot of names wrong. You're welcome. Thoughts on Oilers prospect Nick Gurr? Nope.
That's not happening.
And that's why I enunciate words, because we have
That's
jerks
right.
online.
That's right. So Wedgwood goes to Dallas. I don't need to put Wedgwood up though, do I?
Should the Pens go for Kessel?
I don't think the Pens will. Remember when Kessel left Pittsburgh, the rumor at the time was that Malkin had said he's got to go. So unless that's been healed over, or maybe that was overstated, I don't think he ends up going back.
Shannon's most annoying habit: being so awesome.
I knew you were going to say that because we spend way too much time together.
We do spend.
I figured she's going to say being awesome or being sexy. It's going to be one or the other.
I was trying to keep it toned down a little bit. It's kind of early in the live stream.
Exactly where you're going to go with that.
Should the Rangers take a swing at Scheifele? No, they shouldn't.
Oh,
Larkin,
no. Scheifele's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Raquel
I already
might.
vetoed.
Raquel might, but Scheifele's
Raquel
not going
is
anywhere.
one I really want, along with Scheifele. Nope, I already vetoed it.
Yeah,
so
Scheifele's not going anywhere. I'd be upset
Just
too. I've got a
saying.
Scheifele jersey. I'd hate for that not to be.
I know, right?
Not to be any good. No, I don't like that one either.
It's never wrong. People have just been mispronouncing their own names for years. I know, right?
I just find
totally
it funny when I go to school with people that have a last name and it's pronounced a certain way, and then there's a hockey player with that name, and then it's pronounced differently, and it makes me wonder: did I get that name wrong, or do people just pronounce their own last names differently? And that's wrong. That shouldn't happen.
Anything from Detroit yet, besides Stetcher?
I haven't seen anything yet. Oh, I think the one on Sportsnet's better. Yeah, it is. Okay, Alex Biega's been acquired by Nashville. That's purely a depth move on the blue line.
I'm glad you're both on today. Have a great day. Thanks. You too. Happy spring break.
Now, if we talk about your most annoying habit, it's being awesome.
I already said that. You can't take the same thing.
Now I'm aggravated that you're not letting me say that you're awesome. What? Okay, Nathan Smith.
Okay. How come nobody wants Besser? Pretty sure the Canucks want Besser. So.
Alvin said at the press conference yesterday that they have till July to figure out what to do with Besser, so they're not worried about it right now. I think that's why they trade out Hamonic. They're saving some cap space. I don't think they want to lose Besser, and I'd rather they didn't. I think that $7.5 million qualifying offer will scare teams off, but you can do what Debrusk did today. You can sign for an extension and then get traded after. I don't think Besser wants to leave Vancouver either.
Do you think the Wild are done today?
Goaltending was their major problem. Goaltending was absolutely their major problem. Whether it was Talbot or Kakkonen, it just hadn't been good enough lately.
There's two cats.
Talbot was winning a lot of games, but
are there bunnies down here right now?
Jet's down here. I don't think Licorice down here.
Crash. I don't see where she is right now.
She's usually in her new house. That house at the bottom of that cat tree is her house now.
Oh, very nice.
She's decided that's hers. So anytime I can't find her, I know she's in there. Okay, so Bull, you went to Pittsburgh.
Do you think the Blues do anything?
The Blues don't need to do a lot. The Blues, I think they could probably use some upgrade on the blue line. You could see them add depth on the blue line. I don't think they'll do much else.
Well, he has to make the text tiny, otherwise he runs out of space. There will be a video afterwards. Yeah, if we've had it in years before where he's tried to make it big enough and he just runs out of space. So.
I would try doing like every trade on here, and and then not only that, but then other parts become added, so people will come in and go, actually, this trade, there's draft. Can you add the draft pick to that? And no. So I'll be doing a comprehensive video after this is done, which will be about 12:30 our time is when we're planning on wrapping it up, because we'll see trades between now and then.
You think we see Bertuzzi traded today?
No, Tyler Bertuzzi's not going anywhere. There's no way. He's setting career highs in Detroit. He won't be going anywhere today.
do you think Tampa's done?
They could be. Adding Nick Paul is a nice move on their part. Picking up Hagel is fantastic for their forward depth. I mean, maybe a defenseman. Maybe they changed their goaltending, but I don't think Elliott's going anywhere.
People want to know if all of the teams are done. I see most of the teams.
All of the teams are not done, but we don't know which ones are and which ones aren't. I don't have a direct line to all 32 general managers yet.
You don't?
I don't.
Slacker.
It'd be fun to have a direct line to like one. Just for sort of a, hey, how's it going? What's up?
What are you doing today?
Did you talk to anybody about any trades?
Why do you think the Blues have been so quiet? Bless you.
Oh, allergies.
When they need defensive help, are they just losing out, or are they waiting for someone specific?
Well, maybe they don't want to overreact, or maybe they don't like the asking prices. It looks like the asking prices are pretty high for upgrades on the blue line, and maybe it's just they're priced out of the market for right now, or there's a certain player they want. There may be a certain player they're zeroed in on.
Have we heard anything about Seattle trading Gord as part of their fire sale?
I don't think Gord's going anywhere. I saw an article on that yesterday. I think it was an article, or somebody's posting about it. I've been reading so much hockey media over the last 36 hours. I know I read it somewhere, but the idea of the Gord being traded, I can't see it. He's one of the centerpieces for that team, along with McCann and Schwartz. The real trick for Seattle is it's not that bad. It's a matter of finding the exact right tweaks to improve things going into next year. They're not as bad as their record, so we'll see what Ron Francis does.
After beating the two of the best teams in the East in back-to-back nights, the Rangers have to be making a move, right? Bad luck for Drury if they don't.
The Rangers have added Justin Braun from Philadelphia, apparently for a third-round draft pick. So that helps them on the blue line. I would be kind of surprised if they don't add another forward, although adding Frank Vetrano, very smart move. I like Vetrano, and I think he's underrated.
Hold on, it's getting to where it's skipping around.
Well, because we have... Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, the number jumped.
It's a lot.
Via LeBron, Shannon trades 2 cats to Vancouver for a box of markers. Question, what will the Jackets and Penguins be doing? Hope they tear it up today.
Well, the Penguins grabbed Beaulieu. The Jackets, I mean, odds are they're probably sellers, but I don't know how many players they're looking at selling. I know Domi's probably on his way out of Columbus. We'll see who else they might sell, but they may not be that busy because they have a pretty good team. And I don't think you have to blow it up.
When are we moving? We're moving in May.
May.
Really hope Carolina gets some forward help.
What's your problem?
Pet the cat.
It's not what she wants. I know what she wants.
Dad,
it's
only
a live
have
stream.
Like 2 different options of food.
I know.
Need more food.
Yeah, she wants more wet cat food, and I'm not giving it to her.
Did you answer whatever I said?
The one about...
Oh, man, it's skipping a bunch.
It is.
I don't know.
Toronto might go for goalie. That's possible.
Oh, Carolina. Did you answer the Carolina one?
Okay. And they probably will.
Toronto still go for a goalie. They can have Thomas Greiss. Just saying.
Greiss.
That's right. What should Dallas do?
Dallas is in a tough position because they should be a playoff team, but I don't know that I have any faith in them right now to do anything in said playoffs. Depth moves. They need depth moves, and honestly, they need more out of guys like Ben, Sagan, Radulov than what they've had this year, and you can't fix that with a trade.
News on Georgiev moving.
Nothing on Georgiev yet.
Oh, it's skipping again.
Did you want to say hi to the 2,500 people?
Sorry
Kitty?
if I'm missing super
See,
chats.
TSN and Sportsnet don't have cat.
Has Yvonne got a raise yet, Shannon?
Absolutely.
Where are we moving? Less than a kilometer away. Moving to the States. No.
See, and people say she's spoiled. Look at this cat.
That's funny. No.
Does she look spoiled to you?
Of course not.
She's not spoiled.
As Ducks are selling, do you think Getzlaf will be traded away for a last
run.
Yeah, run for the title, and where would he fit the best?
See, Getzlaf, if not for his cap hit, he'd be a perfect addition for a team like Tampa. I don't think he's going to get moved. I haven't heard anything with him. I think Raquel does, but I don't think Getzlaf would.
Cats and hockey, an excellent combination. Keep it up.
I agree.
How about bunnies, too?
Bunnies are fun, but I don't have Licorice down here. Licorice is upstairs.
What's up with that?
I don't know, because normally he'd be in his spot by now.
Hey, Shannon and Yvonne, hope you and the cats are well. Take care. Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Skipping. Did I miss any? Hello, Bear. Have there any Oilers, Flames, or Golden Knights trades?
The Oilers pick up Kulak from Montreal. Vegas, I haven't heard anything with Vegas yet. What was the other team?
I don't know. And there's no chance of me finding that again.
So the plan, and apparently Forsberg's not signing an extension with Nashville today, but the expectation is he's not going to be traded.
If one of the mods is going to message me,
okay.
I actually see it.
Patrick Kane's not on the move. His agent already said that they're not going to move Patrick Kane.
Now, if mods message me that I'm missing things, I'll see it.
There you go.
Okay.
But yeah, the Raquel, I think does move. I think he's worth a couple of picks.
The next one?
Probably a second and a third.
And it jumped. Okay. So no Shifley, but should the Rangers go after Raquel? Also, do you think Patrick Kane will be on the move? And what would the Rangers have to give up? You didn't read it out loud. So people don't know what you're answering.
Sure they do.
Any chance Red Wings move Dylan Larkin?
No, Larkin's there. He's the face of the franchise right now.
Bennington to Vegas for a defenseman.
I don't think Bennington's going anywhere. I think for St. Louis, they're going to want to keep Husso and Bennington right through the playoffs. It's a Grubauer Holtby type situation in 2018, where Holtby lost his job, but in the playoffs, he ended up getting it back. I could see the same thing happening in St. Louis. Bennington ending up being the guy who comes through in the playoffs.
No, I don't need my own channel.
Yeah, you do.
I don't have enough time. I used to have a channel that I put a few videos on, but people online are awful. So
Frederick Allard for Braden Burke. That's a minor league deal.
Mediocre draft class and a surplus of picks is I forget how to pronounce that one. Guerin? Done, or does he try for a center?
I don't think he's jubilant about his center spot, but that's not what's been costing them games. It's been the goaltending. Just allowing too many soft goals. I think adding Fleury should really help there. There's a lot of pressure on Minnesota to have success because they haven't had success since 2003 when it comes to the playoffs.
Sounds like Sprong was a true team favorite. The Twitter stories make it almost sad to see he's leaving. Go Jets, go. Sprong,
he honestly is a player with a lot of offensive talent. I just didn't get the feeling that they trusted him in Washington enough. They didn't give him as much ice time as I thought he might get somewhere else. So this move could really help him out. He could really help Seattle.
What'd you message me about? Did you? Oh, okay. See, and that's why I turned it on. Biggest name
still on the board? Kessel's probably one of the biggest names still on the board. Whether or not he goes, Raquel, another one. And then there's going to be somebody who gets traded we're not thinking of. So like Connor Garland in Vancouver is one that could end up being traded. I know Myers is out there. I don't think anybody's taking Tyler Myers though. I can't see anybody taking on that cap hit.
Hello from Sweden. It's dinner time. Do you think Toronto will make additional moves, or are they content with their roster, including goaltending? Thanks for everything you do. Much love.
Toronto's going to be interesting because for the Leafs, they waived Mrazek, so they're not happy with their goaltending. I don't know what they're going to do with their goaltending. All I know is you have to have your goaltending figured out if you're going to play against Tampa or Florida or Boston in the playoffs. If they don't figure that out, if they don't have a cohesive unit come playoff time, they're going to go out in the first round again, and then all bets are off as to who sticks around.
Who are the biggest names still on the board?
I just answered that one.
Okay. I don't actually listen to you talk.
You never listen to me talk. That's what makes a good marriage.
See, key to a happy marriage, totally ignore the
no
words.
Communication. You just talk at each other. There's no actual like taking in of any knowledge
you just
or
have
anything.
Everyone's yeah,
the only problem is when something shows up and you go, well, what is that? I talked to you about this before I bought it. No, you didn't.
No, you can always say that. No, why? We totally discussed this. No, we just do this during live streams. Okay, explain. Oh, somebody asked about the members. I did see that. Somebody was asking what the members was. What
so we do a live stream. We do a live stream every Monday. This week's though will be on Tuesday because we're doing this one now. We do a live stream every Monday. I post videos as well that are for members, which are usually more of a personal rambly type than my standard video. And then usually whatever I post for members is also for patrons. So there are people who don't like Patreon.
It's like the same thing.
It's sort of stuff. So people who don't like Patreon support on members, and then vice versa. People don't want to give money to YouTube for membership. Patreon's there. Yeah, I do enjoy having the Monday live streams. They're very chill. And we end up with like 30 people.
We have a separate Discord for it too.
Yeah. So it's actually it's a pretty casual. Like I said, we do that for about an hour every Monday.
What team or teams do you think have won trade deadline? Love the content.
I like Minnesota, what they did so far. I like Vancouver getting something for Hamonic and then going out and getting Dermott because they needed depth on the blue line. I like what Tampa did too. I think Tampa did a really good job in potentially making it so they could win their third straight. A lot of chatting on there. I don't think there's a lot of trades going. It's the same as every trade deadline. There's a bunch early in the morning.
Yep.
And then there's quiet, and then all of a sudden at noon,
afterwards
they come through. I have a theory on that Gary Bettman gets on the phone with his mother at about half an hour before trade deadline, and then just chats with her while all the GMs are waiting on the line. And then at 12, he's like, "I gotta go," and then he answers the phone. That's the only excuse I can find for why the phones get all backed up.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Why would the NHL do they just have one guy answering the phone for trades? Because you always hear, well, if they're in the queue, why is there a queue? There shouldn't be a queue.
Right. How many people are there?
Is there like two guys? It's Gus. Gus is answering all the trade calls today. So I know it's probably Bill Daly, but anyways.
Do you think the Bruins will move Debrusk?
They're trying. They signed Debrusk to the 2-year extension this morning with the idea that they want to move him. So that should make it easier to trade him. That gives some certainty. It's the same thing the Canucks would do if they wanted to trade Besser. Give him an extension, and then you can probably trade him. Do you think they moved Debrusk? It'd be fun to see him in Edmonton. His dad would get a kick out of that.
Canes should get Debrusk or Raquel.
Raquel would fit in really well with the Canes. He'd fit in really well with their attack. Debrusk, maybe. But, yeah, Raquel absolutely would.
It's an hour and a half till the deadline.
Yeah. And at that point, we'll start finding out about all the trades that have been sitting in the queue waiting to go. Because that happens every year.
Yeah, there's usually a lot.
That we have afterwards. Like, well, that's it. The deadline's done. Well, that was kind of a dud. And then all of a sudden, wait, who got traded? What happened? When did what? When? How?
Check your email. I don't see anything. Let's see. Didn't Debrusk resign?
With the idea that they're going to trade him to make it easier to move him.
What's your realistic dream trade for the Canucks?
Oh, realistic dream trade for the Canucks. If they move Garland to the Kings, if that became like that's what the one that's been rumored. Helga Gron's coming back, which is the one that apparently the Canucks are targeting. That would be good. And then if you had it'd be greedy if I said a first rounder, but he's got that. And I don't think the Kings would move a first rounder, not this year anyways, maybe next year's first rounder. I set the bar pretty low. So I'm hoping that, the Canucks can clear that bar. I did like what they did yesterday, though. I would like to see if they trade Garland that they save a lot of money doing that, and they have a plan going forward for next year.
Who is your dark horse to win the Stanley Cup?
I think Minnesota's going to be fun to watch with Fleury. I could see Fleury wanting to go on one last run, sort of like Marty Brodeur did in 2012. Dark horse, if Shesterkin can play in the playoffs the way he's played in the regular season, nobody's going to want to play the Rangers.
Just want to take a second to appreciate how respectful this chat is. So rare on YouTube now. Love the channel and the community.
That's why I married a librarian/teacher.
Thank you. We put a lot of work in making sure the comment section stays decent.
Civil-ish.
Yeah,
Civil.
We do spend a lot of our day making sure that the chat
YouTube's comment sections can be not
they
very
go
civil.
Really bad really quick. Yeah. So we have a lot of automatically held words, and we're not afraid to ban people when they're complete jerks. So
yeah,
but thank you. Thanks for noticing. Are the Blues done?
I don't think they are. I mean, they could be. Maybe there's not a player out there that they want. I think they're going to be looking for depth on the blue line. They might be looking for a depth forward, although I really like the forward depth for the Blues in general. I don't think they're going to need a goaltender. So maybe a little bit of help on the blue line. There's not much there for St. Louis in terms of what they need.
Do the Leafs have a big move left?
I think Giordano was the big one. I think Giordano was the big move because they had to get under the deadline, and that's why they waived players yesterday to make sure they could get under the deadline. I don't think they have cap space to make another big move.
Do you think JR moves any of the Pens bottom six? Love the channel, by the way.
I mean, it's possible.
What
happened? No, see, they're just speculating.
Okay. Yeah, me nervous for a moment. Okay.
The Winnipeg Jets. So she kind of got curious.
Who are they saying they're trading? Stop it. Okay. Any more moves for the Avalanche?
I haven't seen anything yet. I've got the Sportsnet trade tracker seems to be the best one. So that one seems to also be the most up to date. The one on the NHL app isn't really. It's not set as a table. So it's just here's what they're getting and here's what, which is great. But I like to just have a table of who's been traded where for what.
Thoughts on Devontae Adams trade?
I don't really have an opinion on that one.
Does Yvonne like the Jets trade with Seattle? Yes.
Yeah, you get Appleton back.
Because I really like Appleton. So I was happy about that.
But there's rumors Kopp might get dealt today.
Which I vetoed that one too. So there's that.
Yeah, I'd rather not lose.
Because I do really like him.
Kopp's one of my favorite players. If he gets traded,
I do really like him.
He'd look good in Boston.
No.
He'd look good in Boston.
No.
He would.
No.
He's kind of perfect for what Boston needs.
I vetoed it, though.
He's a Swiss Army knife type forward that can go into any role you need him to. He can play second line center if they need to.
No. I like him.
No.
I always...
that wouldn't
if you guys have the Timmy's app, you know how you pick the players, you get points. I always pick Kopp, so when he's on there, I do. He's one of the players that I always pick. Okay, can the Leafs squeeze a goalie anywhere?
Goalies, the market for goalies right now, it feels like it has to be almost done because Fleury's moved, Kakanen's moved. Now it's possible because with San Jose, you now have 3 goaltenders. They have Hill and Reimer signed for next year. Does San Jose look at moving Reimer? Imagine if Toronto went into the playoffs with Reimer as their goaltender again. I honestly would get a kick out of that. And I kind of like to see a redemption story for Reimer. There's a part of me that kind of wishes that if Reimer went back to Toronto, that there'd be a redemption story there. I don't think it's happening, but I think it would be entertaining to watch how that would go down.
Does Fleury start tonight against Vegas?
I hope so.
That'd be funny.
I hope so, because that really, honestly, tonight's games, I don't think anybody's going to be paying much attention to them. It's like last night's review.
I don't see this. Okay. Where is it? The channel has been an amazing escape while trying to run a business in Canada these days. Thank you for all you do, and good luck in the coming move. Also, what do you think the Jets should do with Andrew Kopp? Should they trade him? No. For the cap space, or try and sign?
I'd like to see them sign Kopp. I really like Andrew Kopp. I've liked Andrew Kopp for a long time. He's up there with like Mangiapane, as Arvidsson's another one. Players that I really like that at times I think are underrated. I think Kopp is underrated plenty.
How would you fix the Devils?
The Devils are on the right track. They need to figure out their goaltending going into next year. It sounds like Blackwood may not be in their plans going forward, that he's at least available. If Nico Dawes is the starter next year, I guess that might be okay. But I think figuring out exactly what they're going to do with their goaltending is really important. And then some improvement to the blue line. But I think their forward group is excellent.
Do you think Petrie gets moved? If so, to whom?
The trick with Petrie is there's so many teams right now that are at or near or over the cap. I think Petrie would be a popular target for a lot of contending teams. That cap hit makes it difficult. And the fact that he's had a rough year also makes that difficult. If Petrie gets moved, it'll have to be dollar in, dollar out. I could see teams like Tampa looking at Petrie, but I think it's going to be tough to move him. Might be easier to move him at the draft.
Your cost on Cameo is way too low. Do you know how weird that is, though?
It's like 12. I think it's 12 or 14 or $14, I think.
Something like that. Do you know how weird that is, though?
It is bizarre.
Like, do you guys get how weird that is?
It is. It is really bizarre.
Yeah. It's weird. Is Byfield a bust?
No. Byfield, he's having trouble hitting the net right now, but he's getting a lot of opportunity. I think Byfield's going to be fine. Sometimes with the bigger forwards, your traditional power forwards, it just takes them a little while longer to acclimate to the NHL. I think Byfield will be fine.
Do you see any scenario where Forsberg gets moved? I'm super nervous.
Philip Forsberg's not getting moved today. Forsberg, if he were to get moved, it would be at the draft. And that would only be if they can't work out an extension. They want to work out an extension.
Do people buy jerseys of players that fight more than others?
I don't think they do.
Not that I've noticed.
No. I haven't seen very many Delorier jerseys for Anaheim fans.
People seem to buy the points.
It's your star players, usually.
Yeah.
For me, I usually get jerseys of guys that are my favorites.
Or with really long names.
Hey, you got to get your money's worth. So you're paying by the letter, right? So,
but like when we go to games, we usually see the big points.
Someday I will have a Devils that has Langenbrunner on the back. That'll happen because it wraps all the way around.
Yeah. Still on the hunt for Panthers size 52. Pray for me. Does Verbeek keep getting picks, or does he go for more established players for the Ducks?
Verbeek's going to do everything he can to improve the team's future. So if he can get a young, talented player, I think he'll do it. But yeah, they're looking for more picks.
Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Why is Sakic so sneaky quiet?
Well, he picked up Sturm. I think that we'll see probably a defenseman getting picked up. He re-signed Francouz to make sure he didn't have to worry about losing him. Colorado's always thinking ahead. So I think trade deadline's less of a big deal when you're thinking ahead and you're planning it out during the season. Plus, they're so far ahead of everybody else right now. I don't think you want to upset things. You don't want to make a bigger deal. I think there'll be a couple smaller deals probably made by them, but nothing really big.
What are some tips you have for self-customizing jerseys? I recently discovered the wonders of fabric tape and was wondering if you had some other tricks. I actually usually use the spray temporary adhesive that works better than the fabric tape for me. So I will take the whatever you're sewing on, whether it's a patch or the number kits or the nameplate, and I spray it with the temporary adhesive, and then I put it on there and just push it really hard. I find that polyester thread works the best, and then you just do a zigzag around it. But with the spray adhesive, you're able to get it over the whole logo, so you don't have the corners that poke up, and so it could shift because it shifts. And then, yeah, I just do a zigzag stitch around it. But I think the spray adhesive works the best for me anyways. I've tried different methods. And that definitely works the best for me. And then when you're sewing it, if you have any that have points on it, like it was a Jets patch. I forget which one it was.
The 10-year?
I think so. Yeah, it had points on it. So you got to make sure you tack down those points with your zigzag stitch really well. Otherwise it lifts and it just looks bad.
That's Pixel. Yeah. Pixel's never in videos. She's only in here because you're in here.
Is there a member stream this week? We will do that tomorrow. Okay. Can you share your thoughts on Hamonic? I'm struggling to see what the Sens saw in him to justify a third-round pick.
Hamonic is a player, useful player. He's had a rough year. He ended up playing in Abbotsford for parts too. There's been a lot, pretty toxic reaction to him. Fans and media at times, you've seen this adversarial deal. I think he needed out. I think the Canucks needed to remove that. I don't want to call it a distraction, but I think they just wanted that conversation gone for now. I do still think Hamonic can be a useful player. I do still think Hamonic's capable of helping a team out. Obviously, Ottawa saw something they liked in him. The third round pick they felt was expendable for them, and so yeah, we'll see how he does in Ottawa.
At what point can I, a Leafs fan, stop being worried about them? Even as they get better, we still likely get Tampa or Florida in round one.
It's gonna be Tampa in round one in all likelihood. The one thing is Tampa Bay having won back-to-back cups, they would likely be pretty beat up at this point. They've played a lot of hockey. So maybe Toronto can take advantage of that. Maybe Toronto can take them down. The one question mark is which goaltender would you have in net that could best Vasilevsky? That's the big question.
A lot of comments about Pixel. She doesn't like being picked up.
No.
She sits on my lap.
That's why I pick her up
all
that way,
the time.
She does not like getting picked up.
Does not like being picked up.
No. And she'll scratch my shirts. So that's why I have to pick her up that way.
But she would sit on my lap all day if she could.
She's a very nice cat. Just does not like being picked up.
No, she loves everybody. She's like a dog. When somebody knocks on the door, she runs to the door.
When they run and hide.
I have to say hi. Not a big commenter, but been subscribed for a while. Wanted to say I appreciate everything you do. I'm a Chicago fan. I support the 2 major trades so far. Do you think they're done?
I think they're open for business. I don't think there'll be any major deals. But I'll say this. Taylor Radish already looks like he's going to be a good player for Chicago. I like Kachuk's energy level too. So while people at the time of that trade were like, well, they're trading him for a couple of bums, I don't think they are. I think it's just in Tampa Bay's system. There's a lot of depth there. So guys who are in Tampa's system can excel elsewhere. Think like JT Miller with the Canucks. There's no way Miller would be producing that way in Tampa.
Does Bertuzzi get moved today? Wings have been surprisingly very quiet.
Bertuzzi's not going anywhere. The Wings, I mean, we've seen Stetcher get moved to the Kings. They might make another move or two. I don't think they need to make any major moves, though. I'd look for those probably around the draft.
Are the geese out there or something?
Nope.
She's talking to something. Love the skate jersey. Shannon, not even a Canucks fan.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear Bear? There's got to be an animal out there.
So they're playing lacrosse on Sportsnet.
Well, they don't have anything else to do, so.
I'm just wondering, so like.
Here? I don't know if the mic picks it up. Oh, it says it. There it is. Okay. Do the Abs have enough offensive depth to make it past round 2 finally?
If Nazem Kadri can play in the playoffs the way he's played in the regular season, absolutely. Yep, they absolutely do.
I've seen your jersey comparison video. I just don't understand why Adidas says it's authentic and what they wear on ice. It's weird, isn't it? And when they first came out, they were trying to say it was what the players were wearing, and they're not. They are so different.
I don't know why they don't call them replicas. I think it's because the breakaway, your fanatics are called your replicas, so they can't call them both replicas.
And you can't.
Or else they have to say the good replica and the cheap replica, and I don't think they want to frame it that way.
Right.
But yeah, they're not the on ice product. They're not even close. We saw that in Vegas. Because we were right next to the players' bench, and I had my jersey out, and I was like looking at my jersey and comparing it to the guy who's next to me, and I'm like, yeah, no, he's got double stitching.
You can
and
really
it's a brighter
tell.
logo, and the dots here are definitely deeper.
Yeah.
I still don't know what they do. What's the purpose of the dots other than to look like there's holes in it? I don't know. I don't think there's any breeziness through this. Let me take a look. No, there's nothing.
No.
They're just there for look. There doesn't seem to really be much of any other reason to have them.
Yeah, it's odd, and that was weird when they came out, how they sold that. But you can't buy the authentic ones unless they're player worn.
Right.
Unlike the Reeboks, where you could buy the authentics, and they're really nice. But yeah, you have to buy the player ones, and then they're really expensive.
We're into that awkward time.
We don't have that kind of money.
We're into that awkward time where there's nothing going on with the trade deadline, so they're trying to fill time.
Yeah.
So that's why they've got people doing lacrosse in the studio on Sportsnet. So
getting worried that McDavid will get traded.
No, that's not happening today. The one thing with McDavid is they do need to show some kind of progress in the playoffs over this year and next year.
Makes you faster through the air like a golf ball. There you go. Dimples like a golf ball, makes you more aerodynamic.
So if I ever decide to get shot out of a cannon, this will help me get some good distance. Go. That's good.
There you go. That's a good plan.
That's good.
Any thoughts on the Matthew Joseph, Nick Paul trade?
Well, I like the trade for both teams. Nick Paul wasn't going to sign with the Senators. They've been trying. Matthew Joseph's a very good young forward. I think he'll excel in Ottawa. And much like Radish and Kachuk, you're going to get an opportunity somewhere else to play more. It speaks to just how well Tampa Bay develops players, that even their bottom six guys and extra guys they can send to the minors end up being pretty good elsewhere.
What kind of music do I listen to? I listen to metal and hard rock.
We listen to the same music almost.
For the most part.
Almost the same.
Not quite. But yeah.
I'm still working on it.
Similar. We listen to similar.
I'm still working on it.
Music. Several bands that are the same.
There are times that a song will come on.
The same.
There are times where we'll be listening to music and a song will come on and I know every single word, and she looks at me funny like, how do you know this?
Yes.
And it's a song that was number one. I know it. She's never heard it before.
Because I don't listen to a lot of the, I don't know, what do you call that?
Pop music.
Yeah, no, I don't. So I don't know a lot of the really popular
So if
stuff.
it's from the early 2000s and if it's from like Destiny's Child.
No.
Or Kelly Clarkson or something, I might know all the words.
I do not.
Katy Perry, Kesha, another one. Nope. I might know all the words, and she has no idea how I know all the words.
Yeah, I don't listen to any of that. No.
Yeah.
Never. So, no.
She gets a good lip sync show every now and then. So
Shannon does. Yeah, he does. Yep. Does Giroux re-sign with the Flyers in the offseason?
They'll get first crack at him, I would think. I'd be kind of surprised if they didn't.
Hello from Winnipeg. Love the channel. Great job. What's happening with Andrew Kopp? Why no trades? No.
Hopefully they don't trade him.
They're not.
If they do, it'll probably be a last-minute thing. That's the kind of player that you'd have a bidding war for, basically.
Okay, let me see if any other... Okay. Second sweet.
I think you're good.
Yep. Okay. Kings need a left-handed defenseman. They are stacked with RH defenseman or right-handed defenseman in the system. If Chychrun is off the market till the draft, who would you target if you were Rob Blake?
Should I cook the cookies?
Doesn't the recipe say?
Till they're done.
10 to 15 minutes.
So there you go.
Cookies are generally $3.50 for 10 minutes.
They're quick.
$3.50, yeah.
For 10 minutes.
Okay, for 10 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah,
All
I have
set.
to do 2 batches or 3.
All set.
that's fine.
Off you go. Right-handed defenseman. I'm not sure how many of them are available at the deadline. The trick is, I mean, are you looking top 4 or are you looking top 6? Chikrin would be a perfect fit for somebody. I honestly am kind of surprised Arizona's got him available at all. The Kings, yeah, it's tough. That's why they pick up Stetcher, right? Because they know they need help on the blue line. I don't think they're done with that move, but I mean, unless somebody like Marino or
You're
Pettersson
funny.
out of Pittsburgh, but I don't think they're available. Brian Burke was pretty ornery about the idea of trading John Marino, which echoed what I said about, who else likes the Penguins? Marino, or who else likes Marino? The Penguins. So it's tough to get good defensemen.
Oh, somebody didn't know we have a kid. Man, we don't have a kid. You guys don't hear them in the videos? They're
No.
so loud.
No.
Our children are.
That's why
can
I come
say
upstairs.
Obnoxious online?
That's why I come
Our
upstairs.
children are so loud. Yeah, we have
there are
kids.
times where I
That's
have
our
to go
youngest.
upstairs.
She's making peanut butter cookies. Because
I'll have peanut butter cookies.
Because the boys ate all the brownies she made. So she was like, I'm going to make cookies.
I'll
I'm
have
like,
peanut
okay,
butter
right.
cookies.
Go ahead. Well, she's making peanut butter cookies right now.
Why don't you make peanut butter cookies?
I just made cake the other day, big whiner.
And that's not cookies. Cake is not cookies.
Make your own damn cookies. Okay.
Wow.
Any
Really?
further predictions for the Ducks? Also, love your channel and how chill everyone is here. Much better than the toxic environment of Twitter.
Oh,
Twitter's special.
So toxic. Twitter is ridiculous.
Special.
It's everybody yelling at each other.
It is.
Yzerman will do something for sure. For the Ducks, I really think Raquel's going to end up going. I don't think there's going to be any major moves outside of that. I think Raquel probably goes. They've already moved Lindholm. Lindholm was the big one on the blue line. I think, that's probably the biggest move they're going to make.
Come on, Yzerman, do something.
I think he will. I think Yzerman will.
How many kids do we have? Too many.
Yeah, it is too many children.
We have 3 at home. Well, we have 3 that live at home still.
And I've got a couple that are grown that don't live here.
Yes.
So it's too many kids. There are times where I say we shouldn't have children.
He does. Yeah, we shouldn't have kids.
You know,
we usually don't say that in front of the kids.
I've been thinking it over.
Kids.
I don't think
obnoxious.
parenting is really of any interest to me at this point. So
that's what it is. Mom.
Yeah.
Too late.
Yeah.
No, right?
That just makes me sad.
Love the kitties, bunnies, and reasonable takes on the Canes. Been hearing rumors they might swing for Domi or Andrew Kopp. Realistic Yvonne's veto notwithstanding. Good luck for your move. Thank you. And
Domi would be a good addition for Carolina. That'd be a good one. Still debating about what I'm going to do with these. So with the
cake is indeed not cookies. True. But since we're moving, I'm trying to use up food in the pantry and the freezer. And so I made a cake and used up some of the fruit I had in the freezer. So gotta use up the food so I don't have to move it.
She made fruit cake.
Right? But cake with fruit in it. It wasn't fruit cake. Because fruit cake, you don't use frozen fruit.
It smells like fruit cake.
It does not.
It does.
There's not even molasses.
So I don't know what I'm going to do with these because they're the Bar Down logos. I mean, it's even got the Bar Down logo on it, but I didn't get these from Bar Down. So I feel kind of bad if I use these. Like the Atlanta Thrashers one's fun. I don't know when I'd use that. I guess I could use that on a Jets game if I really wanted to drive people nuts.
Yes, every time.
Wait, Senishin for Brown. All right. So Senishin to Ottawa. Hopefully he becomes an NHLer for them or something like that.
For Josh Brown, conditional 7th in 2022. Adelaide is making cookies right now, so I do not have to make cookies. She's doing it. Glad to see you two are enjoying married life. Well,
try.
No.
It's about as good as you can expect.
Shannon. Luckily, we get along really well. And it's a good thing because we're around each other all the time.
Yeah, we get along to each other's faces.
Always. Luckily, I see your face all the time.
Yeah, luckily.
Okay, in your opinion, what are the odds we get a Vegas-Colorado matchup in the first round, and how would that series go? Could a healthy Vegas team upset the Avs?
You know, the interesting thing for Colorado is going to be, I like Kemper. He doesn't have a large playoff resume, though. The one thing with Vegas is goaltending, too. So the goaltending would probably dictate how that series would go. That being said, I don't think Vegas is going to end up being the number 2 wild card. I get the feeling that they're going to heat up at least a little bit here. I think they probably still end up top 3 in the division. We may still see a Vegas-Colorado series. I would think Colorado would win that series if it started right now with the rosters being as they are.
Does Yandel make sense to bring back for the Rangers?
At this point, I wouldn't. Braun is a better defenseman right now than Yandel. With Yandel, you have to have somebody paired with him who can cover up his defensive issues, and Lindgren's already paired up with Fox. I think you'd have to find somebody to pair with him who could cover, and I don't think they need him either.
You can't unhave your kids. We told them that we can return them to the store.
I mean, we can't. I had a time with my kid where I convinced him that we got him at Walmart, and that we got him because he was on sale. And so we understood that he had problems here and there because we got him on sale at Walmart. So my ex came to me and said, look, your kid thinks that he was brought home from Walmart. You need to go have a little chat with your kid. And so I had to go and explain that I was kidding, that he wasn't actually purchased from Walmart. But yeah. So
he's such a troublemaker.
I was just trying to make him feel better.
And Adelaide is smart enough. Shannon says anything, and she comes to me, Mom. And I have to verify everything. Everything she now has to come and verify with me.
Hey, the sooner she learns not to trust people, the better.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the strawberry
when she
cows
was tiny,
were great.
She really wanted to go see the strawberry cows.
Because I told her that's where strawberry milk comes from. It's from strawberry.
And it took me a little bit because we were in the van trying to figure out what she was talking about. What?
The pink cows.
What pink cows are you talking about? He told her the strawberry cows.
That's right.
My gosh. We move in May. Why are we moving? Because the owners sold this house for a stupid amount.
Yeah.
Stupid amount.
And so,
my gosh, so
they're
ridiculous.
moving. So as a result of them moving, we're taking their house that they're currently in.
We're playing house musical chairs.
So they're moving into a brand new house. We're moving into theirs, which is a better spot than this one. It's a bigger house. I'll have a bigger set.
And it's not on a main road.
And it's much quieter, so I'll be able to do videos outside.
On a main road. We're right beside a main road, which means
it's noisy.
There's cars.
So I can't do outdoor videos, which I used to do in our house prior to this one. But in the new house, we'll be able to do outdoor videos. And it's a completely enclosed yard, too. I like that as well.
Yes. Canadian real estate. What a great place. We're very glad we live here, but yeah, stupid.
Yeah, houses are way too expensive.
So I don't know.
And at my age, if I got a house,
I don't know
I'd
how
be paying until somebody else is paying because they'll get it as
so fast without an inspection. There's so much of it I am so confused by, but I don't know how anybody is paying that much for this house.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
It's a lot. It's
not logical. And previously being a financial security advisor, I'm thinking, what? No, that's such a bad idea.
But it's speculation.
I know.
Like I said, it's all speculation. So
it's not logical.
That's standard.
It's a bad idea. It's not a financially good idea.
I'm gonna have to magnet this up, aren't I?
Okay. Do you think Holland is an incompetent GM? Do you think the Oilers will get a goalie?
I don't think Holland's incompetent. I do think with Holland, he's been a general manager in the NHL for a long time. I think there are some areas where he might be a little bit behind the curve. I think younger, less experienced GMs might have new outside the box thinking. And I think he's still trying to build teams the same way that he did the whole way through. And I think maybe there's a flaw in that.
Return to the store. My parents said that to me. Do you see Edmonton getting a goaltender at any time, even if it's not at deadline? It seems as though Koski and Smith switched roles this year.
It's funny because Koskinen was the problem early in the year, and then he's become, their starter. I don't think they fix it today. I don't think there's a fix. I think Fleury would have been as close to fixing as they could have got. Maybe they fix it in the off season, but it's going to have to get fixed.
Kids aren't bought, they're made. That's why I got mine off of Etsy. It's clever. Shan, in your history of following hockey, is there one trade during a trade deadline that absolutely stands out, either as a favorite trade or are you kidding me kind of trade?
When the Canucks traded Cody Hodgson, I was very, very surprised. That caught me off guard. Knowing what I know now and seeing how Hodgson's career followed after that, I get it. Yeah, I remember. I'm old enough to remember when Ron Francis got traded, and that was mind-blowing that Ron Francis got traded by the Whalers. That was one of those ones that was very, very surprising. And, of course, then Pittsburgh won back-to-back Stanley Cups with Francis. And the trade just, it was part of, I think, what submarined Hartford as a franchise, and they ended up moving to Carolina shortly thereafter.
I was told I was a blue light special. I don't think our kids would know what a blue light special is. They haven't done blue light specials.
Oh, I explained blue light specials to my kids and how they would absolutely have been a blue light special.
Didn't they stop doing that in the 80s?
Well, I mean, Kmart did that.
Yes.
And Kmart eventually left. I don't think there's any Kmarts left in Canada.
I haven't seen one in forever.
Because ours became Walmart. And
forever.
Yeah, and then it was just, I never saw Kmart in Canada again after that.
Frank Cervelli mentioned Jesper Bratt being available. Tell me it isn't so, and tell me it was clickbait.
It's possible he's available, but for Bratt, you'd have to think it'd be first round pick. It'd be, probably a good young prospect as well. Bratt's having a fantastic season. Maybe New Jersey doesn't think he's as good as his point totals this year, and they're willing to move him. Maybe they figure with other players on the roster, they can afford that loss going into next year. But again, saying a player's available doesn't necessarily mean he's getting moved.
Kalak to Edmonton.
Yep.
What is your thoughts on the Blues needing a defenseman?
They could use a top 6, but not much else.
Will anyone claim Mrazek? Oilers, Coyotes?
His cap hit's too high. I don't think anybody picks him up.
Train my daughter. I don't think there's much training. Can you train kids? I don't think it works like that. I've tried to raise her well, but I don't know how well I've done with that either. I mean, if you look at the teenagers, I don't think so. Shannon buying his kids from Walmart, like Breesbaugh buying third line forwards for the Bolts.
Right.
Sweet. The cookie. One of the batches of cookies are done.
Okay.
They're super big.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Go back upstairs, sweetie.
Go play in the forest.
No, I can't go alone.
Nick Leddy to St. Louis.
So Leddy got traded.
It's skipping around so bad again.
Why are you letting it skip around?
Lekanen to Colorado. Yeah, it's skipping around a lot.
There you go.
Do you see the Canucks in the playoffs next season or another disappointing one?
The Canucks can absolutely make the playoffs next year. I think they'll be close. They have to. This core has to start showing some kind of upward momentum. I think with the right moves today, through trade deadline, into the draft and beyond, I think if they make the right moves, get the right amount of cap space, and then they use that correctly this summer, they absolutely should be a playoff team.
They have kid-friendly leashes. I'd have my oldest on one of those kid harnesses when he was tiny. I had
Lekanen is such a good move. Leddy could be a good move for St. Louis as well. He's not the same Nick Leddy he was 5 years ago, but who is? So Leddy to St. Louis is a good move. Lekanen for Colorado, they're going to like him a lot. Good energy forward.
Canucks claim Richardson.
Good. They listened to me yesterday. That's awesome. Do you see that? You're welcome. I like Brad Richardson.
This is relationship goals, you two. Aww.
Yeah, because the camera's on.
Shannon. Our kids laugh at us all the time.
Not with us, at us.
Gosh, Malachi yesterday noticed what I had your name as on Messenger yesterday.
Oh.
He was like, what? I was like, well, we gotta have fun, right? And he was like, true. That's good. You know, you can change people's nicknames on Facebook Messenger.
Do you know I've done that with people that had no idea you could do that?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can change your nickname.
Yeah.
They do see it the one time and then they never see it again.
Yeah, so you can change the name and then you can change the theme too on Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that. I've done both of those in a conversation with somebody that had no idea you could do that.
Yeah. Carolina seems to be in the twilight zone adjacent to the Ultimate Cup success. I'm torn over whether they need another role player, D-man or forward, or whether they should wait until the summer or not.
Well, for Carolina, and again, the term all in gets used a lot, but I think they're in a situation where they've got a lot of young players who are in their prime. They want to go further. This is their 4th straight year in the playoffs, which is a first for them. I think there's some pressure on them to make moves now if they feel they need to get over the hump. And then, yeah, I mean, this summer, obviously, there's still a lot of young players there, but I think they want to win it now.
Do you think the Seattle fire sale is done?
Well, I mean, it's got to be close. They have to have a team on the ice for the rest of their games, right? So it's probably close to done, but I do like that they're picking up a bunch of draft picks. I think they've done pretty well. I think Johansson was a player that, he's older, so sending him to Washington makes some sense for Sprong, who's younger, and you get draft picks too.
Will the Panthers make one more move?
I could see the Panthers making a move. Absolutely. Oh, Justin Barron and a 2024 second-round pick going to Montreal in exchange for Lehkonen. That's not bad. That's not a bad pickup.
Sorry. I'm starting to get all the birthday messages, like, from businesses. You know how they
the Detroit Red Wings today acquired Oscar Sundqvist and a second-round pick. Okay, so Sundqvist the other way. That's a good move. Sundqvist is a kind of... I'm surprised Sundqvist was available, kind of.
You don't get cats and cookies on the Sportsnet stream. No, a bunch of slackers over there.
Right?
No, today's not my birthday. My birthday's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
See, secretly, she told me, make sure you message me a bunch of times so that my phone goes off, so that people are like, oh, it's your birthday. And you'd be like, yeah. Oh, shucks. Did people figure that out? And then there you go.
No. Can
Yeah, I
remind
like Brad
Shannon
Richardson.
what day my birthday is. It's tomorrow, not any other day.
Just because I thought it was on the 23rd.
Which is
it's
not.
Close. It's close.
It's close.
It's close. She gets my birthday wrong all the time.
I don't.
All the time.
Never. Kraken have claimed Pouliot. Our anniversary, on the other hand, I totally forget. I put a reminder on my phone. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Why would you claim Pouliot? That's weird. Oh, I guess. Well, they did give up a bunch of guys, so it makes some sense to grab somebody. So I'll put a claim there. Pouliot can play bottom 2. He won't hurt them much. I mean, they're not in any kind of a playoff hunt, anyways. So
Vancouver claimed Richardson.
You remember Brad Richardson, right? Really? You don't remember Brad Richardson?
I don't remember.
I like Brad Richardson.
I'm sure.
I've always been a fan of his. You were always the anti-fan of his. You just didn't like him.
Anti-fan.
Anti-fan. I said what I said, and you heard it. Kevin Weeks has been breaking trades from all kinds of random locations, and you can always see from his nose up. So he never frames himself right. And I feel like I missed out by not thinking of that first. I feel like I made a mistake in not reporting trades from all kinds of various locations. I feel like I'm ineffective in what I did.
When's the next meetup? Are we doing a Brody Hintz tournament this year?
We've been talking about that.
Yeah, it's tricky because we're moving.
Yeah.
So that does make it tricky.
There's a move. There's a lot of other stuff going on too.
Right.
Members, patrons know a lot of it.
Happy 30th.
Aww,
sure. I'm a
sweet.
17-year-old, but yeah, I'm 30. That's it.
Nobody needs to know what you were doing when you were 13.
He turns 18 this year, so
That'd make me
18.
young too. Then,
Isn't that
right?
crazy?
I'd have to be younger.
How do I have an 18-year-old?
Well, you know.
Well, not
so
yet,
the
but...
way I can explain this to you is, so back in 1812.
No, oh
the
my
Greeks,
gosh, don't start. Nope. We still have a lot of time left. Let's not go down that.
Oh,
track.
Arizona claims Sateri. Oh, wow. Okay. So if that was Toronto's plan in net, whoops. Mrazek cleared though, so I guess they still have that.
Blues trade.
Yeah, Leddy is acquired by the Blues, going the other way. Sundqvist is the major part going the other way. After this live stream is done, I'll make up a board of all the trades and go through them one by one. I've found, though, that when we're doing this live stream, I used to try to put up the trades as they took place. That just becomes chaos. It's just like me trying to listen to what they're saying on TV. That doesn't work either. So I have the TV on. I switch back and forth between TSN and Sportsnet's coverage of the deadline. But I generally find that Twitter is just as fast as anything else. Johan Larsson to Washington. He's from... So I wonder what Buffalo gets back for Larsson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they're getting some Swedes in Washington. Johansson and Larsson.
Really enjoy you two interacting on camera. You have real chemistry. Great to see. Oh, it's because Shannon's so cute. That's probably it.
See, I knew you'd do that. I'd better put the J in front of Larson, or else Seattle fans will be like, wait, Adam Larson?
Have you ever been to Edmonton? Yes.
I went to Edmonton in 2011 for the Rammstein concert. And it was fantastic. Not the city, but the concert. I like the city. The city's okay. And then I went back 2014. I went back for like a trip. It was like about a week, which was... I mean, it's fun. West Edmonton Mall's great the first couple times you go, and then pretty quickly you realize it's just a big mall. Like there's some fun stuff in it, but
like
there's
four lids in here.
4 of the same store here and 4 of the same store at the other end, and it's like, oh,
why do they need so many?
Well, yeah,
lids?
there's a large number of stores, but a lot of them are
another Claire's.
same. Wait, and then when you try to meet somebody, okay, I'll meet you outside the Victoria's Secret. Which one? Wait, what do you mean which one? The one at this end, or I don't know. So yeah.
Trivia: Brad Richardson is dating Jessica.
I don't know who that is.
Soar?
I don't know who that is. Good for him. Good job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on completing a great game.
Let's see. Did I miss anything? No, I'm sure.
Usually.
Yep. Nope, I didn't. What do you need now, Adelaide?
Can we all have one cookie that has cooled down?
Yeah, go right ahead, sweetie.
Yay.
Adelaide, can you tell the boys they need to be ready? They have a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Howdy, Shannon. Your
Howdy,
videos are great for my commute. Do you think Dallas has any moves today? Maybe a middle 6 winger or a top 6 right defense. Debrusk?
Debrusk would make some sense for Dallas. I wouldn't mind that either, because I like when teams I cheer for trade with each other. Dallas, I think adding Wedgwood was basically them, admitting that Holtby's going to be out a little while longer. I don't know if Dallas needs to do a whole lot else. I think they'd like to add a defenseman, especially with Heiskanen's injury. It definitely prevented them from trading Klingberg. But yeah, I think Dallas is in an okay spot. I hope they end up getting that last playoff spot. And if they do, we've seen that they're able to go on a run. I will say this. I have a lot of faith in Jake Ottinger. So that could cover up for some of the defensive issues the team has.
We live outside of Vancouver, BC, Canada.
Yes.
Do you think Detroit got more than people thought?
Well, for Detroit, I do like the deal for Leddy, because with the Red Wings right now, it's about what's going to happen next year and beyond. Sundqvist is a good player, and he's got some grit to his game too. So I do like what Detroit did here. They pick up a draft pick too. I'm not putting the draft picks on the board again. I'll get into the actual trades and everything involved in them after the deadline live stream is done. I'll do a video on that.
How does Twitter get the information on trades faster than NHL blog?
Because as soon as Friedman or Drager or any of them get the information, they immediately tweet it out. And it takes a little while longer for the NHL blog to update because it's... Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how the NHL blog's set up.
Who do you think the best realistic addition would be for the Bruins at the deadline?
Best realistic addition for the Bruins at the deadline. See, I wouldn't have minded seeing Lauzon go back to Boston. I like Lauzon, but I know a lot of Bruins fans didn't necessarily. I think Lindholm was the perfect addition. I don't think they need a lot else. I think honestly, if they could get Andrew Kopp, I think that would work really well for Boston.
No,
but
I already vetoed it.
Anyways, that kind of a
Shannon.
forward, a top 6 forward. Garland would work for Boston as well if they were able to fit him in out of the cap. But again, then it'd probably be Garland. You'd probably have to send Debrusk to the Canucks, and then we'd see what happens from there. But they could use some help up front.
Do you think Montreal makes any more trades today?
Well, losing Lehkonen, Kulak. I mean, there's other players that are available. It's possible we see other trades with Montreal. I think they'd like to move Petrie if they could find a destination, something that works. Maybe we see more trades from Montreal at the draft.
Jake Wallman was also traded with Sundqvist.
Yeah, I like Wallman too. I think what Wallman's going to give Detroit, I honestly, and I think it's a numbers game for Wallman. He may excel. He may excel in Detroit in a way that he couldn't in St. Louis because of the amount of defensemen they had there.
Thanks for everything, guys. Okay, I was told
Welcome.
I missed a super chat, so I will try and look for it. I asked you about Montreal, right?
You did.
Okay, I thought so.
You asked me that.
I said that one.
Yep.
Yeah. I got that one.
Yep.
I don't see a super chat.
Yep.
Did that one.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh.
What do the Jets need next year to be better?
I think the first thing they're going to do in the offseason, I don't think Dave Lowry stays on as coach, and I think they'll work on their coaching and special teams. Their penalty kill is just destroying them. They do not have a good penalty kill. It's the same problem in Vancouver. Winnipeg's lost games because of special teams. If you fix the special teams, they win more games. I really still like their team on paper. You may make some small moves on the blue line as well. Maybe you have a backup goalie you have more faith in. I don't think they have any faith in Comrie for whatever reason. Hellebuck's getting overplayed. But yeah, I think Winnipeg's in a good spot to bounce back next year.
Still waiting for Nick Foligno to go back to Toronto.
Not available from Boston. Boston's not moving Foligno. I think Foligno's been good for them so far this year. He does get hurt at times, but that's to be expected with the game he plays.
Do you have a Swedish national team sweater?
You have Sweden, don't you? It's not in here. I'm pointing at where it used to be. I took it out.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in storage right now.
Okay.
I do have the one from well, there's 2 that I have that are Sweden. I have one that I think was World Championship, and then I have the one from the World Cup.
Okay, I thought you had
the NHL
World
Cup in 2016.
That was the one I was thinking of.
So I like Sweden. They do some really fun jerseys.
What do you think the Devils do at trade deadline or the off season?
The Devils, there's not much they need to do really. They need to figure out, as I said earlier, just figure out your goaltending for next year. What's your plan? If Dawes is going to be the plan, okay, so you go with that. And maybe an upgrade on the blue line. I don't think there's a lot they need to do. I really like their forward group. I think Sharon Govich is fantastic, and Jack Hughes is a star.
Would John have been traded if Miro wasn't injured?
Likely. I think Dallas and Klingberg are at an impasse. I don't think they're going to have an extension in place by the draft. I'd be very surprised if Dallas doesn't trade his rights at the draft. I think they would have moved him at the deadline, but Heiskanen being hurt, I think that changed the whole plan.
We'll do the live stream till a little after noon, probably.
Yes. Yes, because there's always trades that come out at 12 o'clock and then a little bit after 12 o'clock.
But we'll stop it so that Shannon can just write everything down, and that usually takes him a bit of time just because there is so much usually that happens after the deadline.
Again, when I was trying to keep up with all the trades and write everything on the board, it just didn't work.
Right. So that does take him some time afterwards.
The draft this year, I think we'll do that differently too when we do that live stream.
That one's crazy.
That one gets insane.
That one is always
Although last year's draft took forever.
They always take forever.
No, not like last year. Last year they really milked it.
They
really milked it.
So many commercials. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Last year's draft was a nightmare. So not happening again this year.
Would Holtby be a good backup for Yari?
Yes, but Holtby's hurt. I think Holtby might have been moved at the deadline, but he's hurt. So that changed the whole narrative around Dallas. Holtby's not going anywhere. He would be a good backup for Jari, but at this point he's hurt.
Caligno to Avs.
Oh, Cogliano.
Yes, that's what that says. That too.
See, you won't get that on SportsCenter
Caps
TSN.
acquire winger. Whatever. They slaughter names all the time too. So, not just me. Caps acquire winger Larson from Coyotes.
Yes. Yep. Johan Larsson's on the board. The return on that I haven't seen yet. I imagine it's just a pick. He was rumored to be out there for a while.
Are the Blues done?
Getting Letty is a good move.
Oh, they're saying third rounder in 2023 for Larson.
That's not bad. That's not bad for both teams. Yeah, Friedman hasn't updated, so over to.
It's Italian. All right. Sometimes I have trouble. So my glasses are the big point of my glasses are so that I don't see double. So I do have trouble reading words that I don't know if there are letters that are similar shape next to each other. That's really difficult for me to see. And so that's why I have trouble with the names sometimes.
Would you say that you have
I can't always see the
double trouble?
Dork. So I have trouble like if there's L's and I's and T's next to each other, and same with like M's and N's or O's and C's and G's. I have trouble distinguishing the letters, so I have trouble reading names sometimes.
And double
I can't
trouble.
See all the letters
Because of your double trouble.
You're a dork. Do you think Vancouver tries to move out some more current defensemen? In my opinion, Tyler Myers doesn't play anywhere close to his $6 million.
Oh, Myers, I think if they could trade Myers, I think he would have been gone a while back. I don't think that there's a market for him. He's got 2 years left on this contract. I don't think anybody takes that on. I think they'll try this summer. They'll try to move him out. They'll see if anybody wants that contract. Vancouver wants as much cap space as possible. I am fully in support of that idea. It's about time. I've complained for years that Benning kept the team at the cap, and I didn't understand why, because they weren't a playoff team. So if you're not a playoff team and you're at the cap, something's gone wrong. So yeah, I like the idea of getting cap space. If they can find a way to move the rest of Myers' contract without retaining anything, that's magician's work right there.
Wish the Wild had one more game in Chicago so Fleury could get a tribute. He wasn't really there very long, though.
He'd still get something.
You think so?
Sure.
I mean, I know it's Fleury,
he gets something because it's Fleury.
Very long.
It's Fleury. And he gets them back a second round draft pick or potentially a first. So, fans are pretty happy about that kind of thing.
Well, that's true. What do the Canucks do with Dickinson?
So Dickinson's been hurt. If not, I think he would have already been traded, or at least I think there'd be more talk around him. I think that the Canucks are looking to move. I would think Garland probably ends up at least being discussed on some level today. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that comes out as being traded after all of the noon hour stuff has passed, and all of a sudden we get, there's a trade. But I think for Vancouver, I think there's going to be some major movement. I don't think there's any rush to do it today, though.
Bruins trade Debrusk.
I think they're trying. They're trying to trade Debrusk. We'll see whether or not they actually get that done.
Which goalie is Washington targeting now?
See, for Washington right now, they've got Samsonov, they got Vanacek. In order for them to pick somebody up, that would mean probably dealing one or the other. I don't know that they'd want to trade Samsonov. I don't see them trading Vanacek, so I don't think Washington's going to change their goaltending today.
Sanford to Winnipeg. I see a few people saying that.
Yeah. Do you like Zach Sanford?
I'm not really familiar with him.
Now, if Winnipeg adding isn't really all that big of a surprise because they're in the hunt. So they might be like, we're in the hunt. Bringing back Appleton's a good move. If you're in the hunt, you think you got a shot at the playoffs.
Appleton. I'm really glad he's going back. That makes me happy.
Sanford makes some sense too as a depth forward. So I guess Winnipeg feels they're still in the hunt. And they are. I think they're only 3 points back. 3 or 4 points
it's
back.
Not
of
very
the playoffs.
Much.
Yeah, they're not that far back. And they're playing
doing
well.
Better.
Vancouver did not. They had a 7-game homestand and they won 2 of the games. So that's it.
Again, Shannon will be doing videos afterwards, doing summaries of all the trades, and then there will be more trades that come in, and then I'll have to do another video.
Yeah.
He always has to do a couple.
Yeah.
There's usually several.
It's like I had to do the video
don't worry
this morning.
If you miss stuff.
I had to do the video this morning on what trades had already happened before I did the preview because I knew otherwise the preview was going to be filled with comments of did you see this? Didn't you see this? So I had to do the trade video first.
I am sure the comment section is still filled with that.
Oh, for sure.
But there will be videos and he'll give the rundown and the explanation. So don't you worry if you miss stuff. There'll be videos. What's your opinion on the Calgary Flames? Do you think they are done or going to make 1, maybe even 2 more trades? Well,
they picked up Yarncroke. They picked up Toffoli. I like what Calgary's done quite a bit. Maybe a defenseman, maybe a depth defenseman to Calgary. I don't think there's a lot else they need to do. I think they're in pretty good shape.
Wheeler Coyotes? No, that'd be awful. Don't do it. No. I'm vetoing that too.
You're vetoing trades, are you?
Yes, I am.
That's not how that works. You
know
is. That, right?
Because I now have the hockey power.
I don't
Your
have
hockey
any hockey
power
powers.
Is awful, though.
My hockey powers are crap.
Right?
They are terrible.
People blame you for stuff all the time, though.
I don't have any hockey powers whatsoever. See, Domi's trending. Mrazek's trending.
Blues overpay for Letty?
Well, I mean, if they end up going on a run in the playoffs, if they get to, say, the conference final, I don't think there's going to be discussions of that. If they go out in the first round, there might be some discussion of that. I guess Wallman's a younger defenseman, but I don't think they lost anything in this trade they couldn't afford to lose anyways.
Super chat?
What are you missing now?
I'm trying. I'm sorry. When there's so many comments, it skips, and then I have to try and find them, and I don't always find them. Hold on, let me look.
What did you do?
Oh, there it is. Yep, I did miss one. Love the channel. Been watching the old videos over the last 3 weeks. Will the Sabres make a trade or are they done? Let's go Buffalo. Did I get all of them now?
I do expect them to end up making a trade. I'm surprised they haven't already. There was rumors they were looking to add a defenseman. They also have some cap space there where they can take on cap if they need to. I'm surprised they haven't been utilized for that as of yet, but the day is still relatively young. I know we have a half an hour left till deadline, but there's always trades that come out after. I'd be very surprised if Buffalo's not active at the end of this when we think the trades are done. I would be very surprised if we don't get something from Buffalo after that.
Will Kraken swap picks for a player? Debrusk?
Well, I mean, we'll see what they end up doing. I think they've already acquired a bunch of draft picks, so it's possible they're they're looking for more. We shall see.
Do you think the Avs are done this trade deadline?
I like Cogliano. I think Cogliano's good. Lekkonen's good as well. These are good depth pickups, not signings, depth pickups. Maybe a defenseman. Maybe add a defenseman. Obviously, they're happy with their goaltending. I think Sakic's done a very good job.
Do you think the Canucks add anything else?
I don't think they're adding. I think they're listening, and if somebody comes up with a good deal, I think they're willing to talk trade. I don't think they're looking to make any major deals today, though. I think what they did with Hamonic yesterday, maybe that ends up being it.
There was another one.
What did you do?
Apparently, there's another super chat that I missed, but
there's only 4,118 people in here.
Didn't see it.
So what did you do?
I don't know. If somebody sees it, you can message me because I don't see it. I did scroll back up and didn't see it.
Oh, see, now
Let
you're
me just
breaking
throw
stuff.
my phone. Oh,
I'll get it.
getting it. Thanks. Hey.
Just
Shannon,
your phone.
That's not Shannon.
Just getting your phone.
You're not.
Yes, I was.
Getting handsy there.
I was grabbing your phone. How am I supposed to do it without my hands?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Oh,
Anyways,
I guess I went the other way.
Does David Poyle get fired if he loses Philip Forsberg in a trade or free agency?
I don't think that would get him fired. Nashville would have to tank out of the playoffs. We'd have to see like a disastrous result for Nashville. Poyle has, I think, a lot of slack. I think it would take a lot for him to get fired.
Debrusk to the Blues.
I could see that. That could work. The Blues have definitely been good for reclamation projects in the past. Logan Brown comes to mind for recent past. That could absolutely work.
Okay, where am I? Oh, Lazo extension. Kings extend Lazo 2 years, 1.675 AAV.
Oh, nice. Nice. I like Lazat. Good player. Underrated player.
Is Lione going anywhere?
I hope not. I don't think so either because the general manager has been quite, Jarmo Kekalainen has been quite adamant that they're going to keep Laine and they're going to sign him. Apparently the plan too with Minnesota tonight is that Fleury's going to be the backup for Talbot. So Fleury's not expected to play tonight for the Minnesota Wild against Vegas.
That would be fun though.
It would be fun, but I think they want to make sure that he's
rested.
He's acclimated to his new teammates. Okay, see, Kevin Weeks announcing a trade with a garbage can on his head. Like, that's next level.
Weird.
That's fantastic.
Weird.
Why didn't I think of something like that? I'd have so many more
weird.
fans if I didn't have a face.
If you had garbage can on your head?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that would absolutely work.
Anything from Dallas, or do they like where they're at?
Doesn't necessarily mean they like where they're at. There might just be too high of an asking price for the players they're looking at. They pick up Wedgwood last night, so they're happy with their goaltending, I would think, or else you don't pick up Wedgwood last night. And so, yeah, we'll see what the plan is. I don't think Dallas is going to do a lot. I think if they could trade out some of their veteran players that are paid a lot, not necessarily performing great, I think they do it. I don't think there's much of a market for them.
The idea of trading some package of Smith, Severson, Zaka, and a first or multiple firsts for Quinn Hughes has been floated by Devils fans. Your take?
I would not trade Quinn Hughes if I was the Canucks. Quinn Hughes is the best defenseman they've ever had. I would be very surprised and disappointed if the Canucks traded Hughes. And I've seen Severson's penalties. I have watched him take so many penalties. If he gets traded to Vancouver, I'm not going to be happy because then those are all Canuck penalties. We've already got Myers for taking penalties. That role is spoken for in Vancouver by Tyler Myers. Thank you very much.
If the Hawks go full rebuild, do you think Pettersson, A-Rod, and 2 firsts for Patty Kane at 50% would work?
Well, I don't know that Chicago would move Kane. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Taves is the one that's more likely to hit the market. There's one more year for Kane at $10.5 million. So obviously there'd have to be salary retention, but at half the cost, like that would be absolutely insane. I don't even know if 2 firsts would get that done. I think the price would be astronomical because while Kane's above 30, he's still scoring at an incredible pace and he could do it for another 4 or 5 years. I think it'd be an expensive trade to make.
Raquel to Blues.
Be a good pickup. Whoever picks up Raquel's picking up a guy who's had no puck luck lately, but he's very good around the net. He's a good player, and I think he'll excel after a trade.
What do the Flyers do in the offseason? Are they far from the playoffs?
I don't think they're that far off. The concern I have with Philadelphia is the composition of their blue line. If I hear in one more broadcast that Provorov hasn't been very good since Niskanen left, I'm probably going to scream, because now we're into year 2 of hearing that every broadcast. They have to figure it out. So if that's an issue, you have to figure out who would replace Niskanen. And if that's Ellis, and if Ellis isn't going to be Ellis anymore, then you've got to make another trade. I like their forward group. I think their goaltending will be fine. I think Carter Hart's better than he gets credit for. Jones has had kind of a bounce back year, although he's had some rough games too. But yeah, I think Philadelphia is better than their record. I'm floored at how bad they are right now. I think they could bounce back next year.
What do you think the return for Domi would be?
He's a pure rental, so I would think with this market, I would think a second-round pick and maybe a prospect. That might be the asking price. What do you think it would be?
I have no idea.
You should.
Thoughts on Lehkonen trade to Colorado?
Lehkonen's a good player. I'm a big fan of his. I think that Colorado's going to like him quite a bit. I think that, it's a very interesting pickup for Colorado. They've, with Sturm, Cogliano, Lehkonen, I guess Sakic didn't like his bottom 6.
How far does Washington make it in the playoffs this year? They have not made many changes in preparation for the playoffs.
I think that for Washington, I still don't see them getting out of the first round. And I hate to say that, but I still don't see them getting out of the first round right now with how strong the East is. But the one caveat to that is the separation between number 1 and number 8 in the East, I think, is not as wide as the separation between 1 and 8 in the West. So it's still possible that Ovechkin goes on a run, Vanacek stands on his head, and Washington ends up surprising people.
Does Pittsburgh do anything?
Pittsburgh, the only addition so far that I've seen is Nathan Beaulieu being added for a 7th-round pick from Winnipeg, depth defenseman, just purely a depth move. I don't think they need to do a whole lot else. They're a pretty darn good team. Their goaltending's been okay. Like, I know DeSmith would make people nervous if Jari got hurt, but I don't know how you'd fix that at the deadline. That's something you'd have to fix in the offseason. I think Pittsburgh's relatively happy with what they have right now.
I feel like I've been screaming into the void about Vanacek. Our goaltending is ready.
I like Vanacek. I do. It is weird looking back at the expansion draft and realizing Seattle made a mistake. Seattle, when they picked up Grubauer and they traded Vanacek to Washington, that was a mistake. In that Grubauer's cap hit, if instead you have Vanacek's cap hit, Vanacek, I think, is the better of the two goaltenders. Seattle probably wins some more games, and they'd have even more cap space. But hindsight's 2020. I think Vanacek is a solid number 1 goaltender.
Islanders are doing nothing, right?
That appears to be the case so far. It doesn't mean that that's going to be the case all the way through, though. Especially Lou Lamoriello. Like, remember when he was, registering guys' contracts, he wait till the very last minute. He is the GM that will wait till the absolute last minute to announce a bunch of trades. Then we find out, the Islanders made 6 trades right at noon. So here they are. I wouldn't be entirely surprised.
Do the Flames try and move Monahan?
They should, but the best time to move Monahan is probably the offseason. Monahan just offensively has just fallen way off. He needs to change the scenery, and I think they need to move him. But I don't know what the market's going to be like for Monahan right now. You'd probably have teams trying to rip them off, so you're probably better off to hold on to him.
Does Vegas make a move to get under the cap?
They should. They're going to be way over the cap if anybody comes back, and anybody being either Martinez or Stone, although they've been willing to play with less than a full complement of players before just to be under the cap and be cap compliant. They have that option. I think they should do something, but maybe there's just not much out there. And remember, teams know they need to get under the cap, so they might offer them a little bit less.
Off-season video idea: jerseys 1 to 99. Like your jerseys, or
I guess probably be the top
jerseys,
top
or?
99 or something. I don't know. I've got ideas. I've got ideas for what I'm going to do after the move. The way the jerseys are organized is going to be a little different. So I've got some ideas for how I'm going to do that. I won't be doing full countdowns anymore. I'm done. That countdown I did last summer, that's enough. Don't need to do a full countdown again. That's enough. I'm finished. So from here it would be much shorter countdowns.
So look for one in a few years.
I don't think I'm going to bother again. It becomes so daunting.
It's a lot.
It ends up being a lot. And then you look at the view counts and it's like, I think I could have spent my time a little better. So I'll probably do like team countdowns rather than, 1 through whatever.
Oh, they think they mean a jersey each number in your collection. Shannon has a lot of jerseys that aren't numbered, though.
Yeah, I have a lot of blanks. I don't think I have.
So that would be really tricky. And that is something that a lot of other YouTube channels do. That is a pretty common one. That and the goal horns.
I did eventually do the goal horns one, though.
I know. On lunch break, did Ducks do anything today?
I haven't seen anything from the Ducks yet. Doesn't mean that there's nothing coming, though, because a lot of these end up waiting until the last moment.
Okay, I'm Devils fan. What does happiness look like?
Well, yeah, the Devils, it's been a while, hasn't it? 2018, the last time they made the playoffs. 2012, the last time they won a round. As a Canuck fan, I don't know. It looks a lot like how fans feel in Florida this year, or fans in Tampa over the last couple of years. Yeah, it's loud and boisterous, and I hope that New Jersey finds that loud and boisterous soon.
Will Michael Buble get traded?
Oh, he absolutely could. I was thinking about trading him. It's possible.
Yep, I already got that one.
T-minus 17 minutes.
What do you think of the moves Tampa has made so far?
Again, I like the additions, the depth moves. I think Nick Paul's going to be very popular with them. Very good penalty killer. I love Hagel. I think Hagel's a fantastic forward, and he's got cap certainty for them for the next couple of years. I think that's a fantastic move. But I like the move for Chicago too, because Taylor Radish is already paying off.
Just saying hi. Hi.
Howdy.
Blues are terrible. Blues fans, thoughts?
Blues are fine. And I've always, I got a lot of Blues fans on the channel during their Stanley Cup run in 2019. Yeah. Pretty good bunch of people in general. Every fan base will have their share of people who aren't necessarily wonderful, but that's sort of part of that.
Some teams just have a louder bunch of.
That's just par for the course.
Has Korpisalo lost all of his trade value this season? Yeah,
Korpisalo. That's a tough sell. If you're going to move him right now, I think that would be a really tough sell. I wouldn't pick up Korpisalo if I was a GM today. He's got his goals against are well over 4. His save percentage is well below 900. It's been a rough year for him.
As a Panthers fan, how scared should I be about Ekblad's injury? Do you think we could go on a deep run if he's out for the first round?
Well, so what's being said with Ekblad is that they put him on LTIR to give themselves some flexibility at the deadline. His injury itself is seen as being week to week. So with the LTIR, he has to be out for 10 games or 25 days. So he won't be available to them for a minimum of 10 games. But it doesn't sound like the injury is that bad, and it sounds like they might hold him out until the playoffs just to make sure everything's okay with him. Yeah, I mean that. I think they'll be fine. And I think obviously with Ekblad's injury history, you don't want to see him getting hurt, and how important he is on Florida's blue line. But I think they'll be okay.
Does Boston need to pick up a forward?
Yes. And there were rumors that they were looking at picking up a forward today, but we haven't seen anything yet. I'm trying to find one that's more up to date, and I can't find one that's more up to date. I know there's fake trades that are being posted as well. And I mean, like on Twitter, you will find the fake ones. That's why I only bother with the ones from Chris Johnston, Darren Drager, Elliot Friedman, Jeff Merrick. I keep an eye on Sportsnet, TSN, and I stay away from other reports.
Do you think Lione is a 50 goal scorer?
He can be if he finds his consistency. I mean, we saw him have a 3-goal game in Vancouver.
That was so fun.
And it's just, he's a natural goal scorer. It's just that matter of finding consistency. He's been great for the last month and a half, but he can go invisible for a month and a half after that. And it's an argument. I've done videos on Lione, which offended people, but still on how Lione is so streaky. And they are such extreme streaks too. All goal scorers are streaky, but it feels like with him, it is the ultimate feast or famine.
Let's see. Do you think Dallas gets a depth defenseman today?
It depends on whether or not they see themselves as buyers. I think they should. I think they need one. I don't know that they necessarily do. I know they've been happy with Harley so far, him stepping in. Do they need to replace Hanley? Maybe. I like Hanley too, but yeah, they could probably use a little bit of depth on the blue line.
Any news on Vegas?
I haven't seen anything with Vegas yet. And again, we'll see what they do.
Does Dallas try and move anybody? We need something.
I think Dallas probably a blue liner. I don't know that Dallas is built to win in the playoffs either. That's my concern with them, but we'll see.
Do you just do hockey content?
On this channel, yes. But I do have a second channel where I talk about TV shows, wrestling, movies. I very often do videos on the Entertainment Guy that I know damn well they're going to get like 200 or 300 views. But it's something I want to talk about. So I'm like, I don't really care that only a couple hundred people are going to watch this. This is something I really care about, so I'll do a video on it.
And lots of videos of the rabbits.
Yes. Yvonne does post videos of the rabbits. We've done videos of the cats as well. Which is one of those things,
some people really like them. Some people really don't. I missed a super chat.
Yeah, I don't mind the videos of the rabbits. I think it's nice.
See. Breaking: Shannon traded from THG to SDPN for a new scratchy post, 5 spools of knitting yarn. Yarn doesn't come in spools. Thread comes in spools. And future consideration. Is it nice yarn? Because...
Now, why would they pick up Andrew Hammond? Why would Montreal trade Andrew Hammond? Andrew Hammond has gone to New Jersey. That's an odd one. I guess with Jake Allen back.
I'm gonna run upstairs really quick. Make sure the boys are.
All right.
They're not.
All right. Aren't they supposed to be here now, though?
Yes. You need to be outside now.
The board itself, it doesn't have everything on it. Like, it doesn't have the draft picks and stuff of that nature. So it's just, at this point, it's just me tracking who's been moved where, and it's just for today. Looks like they're trading Copp, sweetie.
No, I said no. I vetoed it.
I like the Nick Leddy. I like the Nick Leddy trade. I think that one's fine. Detroit's picking up for the future. Wallman's a good young defenseman.
Can you provide a link?
Should work for both.
No, I can't. Is that in the descriptions? Is that one
for the Entertainment Guy?
The Hockey Guy.
So in Hockey Guy
website.
where they have channels that you're linked to, I have the Entertainment Guy
What's
link
your
to that
website
channel.
Again?
The website. The website's in the description to the video.
Is it? No, isn't it over here?
Under here.
Over here.
Don't listen to her finger. Listen to mine. I have the finger of power.
If you go to the Hockey Guy website, it has the link to the other YouTube channel. Or you can look up Entertainment Guy, and then it comes up. No, I don't want him traded because I like him. They could stop, but I mean, we got Appleton back, so I mean that's good. But just saying,
Well, that was the
Super chat
storyline.
again. Oh my god!
Part of the storyline was that
There
maybe.
you go. Thoughts on Fleury to the Wild? Woohoo! That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think that upgrades their goaltending immediately. I like that move a lot.
See, Yvonne, I promise the Rangers will take care of Cop for you. They better. Man, do I have to like the Rangers now?
No,
I don't.
you don't have to. You can like players on a team and not necessarily cheer for the team.
Being a bun. Here's a little bun. It's waffles. Where
Not
do you
gonna
think
get waffles on
Lehkonen
Trade Center.
will slot into the Avs lineup? Who on the current roster is most similar to his style of play? Drop Chew to third.
Nichushkin.
Oh, okay.
I don't
To third line.
think Nichushkin drops. I think he'll end up. I think Lehkonen ends up on the third line, maybe even the fourth. For Colorado, it really is about depth.
This is Waffles. If you ever go on the other channel, you see Waffles. Waffles is our little blind bunny. So she is so spoiled. I mean, all of our bunnies are spoiled, but Waffles might be the most.
Dallas
Okay.
and Pesic would make some sense. I like Pesic. He can play forward and
Isn't he so
defense.
pretty? Okay, here you go.
Okay, off you go. Okay, off you go.
Okay, maybe Dallas
Playing the
goes
force.
after Mark.
Pesic.
Oh, I would not have guessed
No,
that.
nobody does. It's fun to hear announcers try to stumble over that name.
What's sweetie? Oh, very cute, sweetie. Okay, Adelaide.
Okay,
I'm
Adelaide,
busy right
off you
now.
go. There's over
There's a lot
4,000
of
people
people
in
on
here.
here.
Wait, they suspended Mr. Booth?
How
Are
many
you kidding
rabbits
me?
do you have? A lot.
They suspended Mr. Booth's account.
We do have a lot of rabbits. We're still hoping to find some home. Well, I hope so. The kids don't want us to find homes for any more rabbits. But did I get all the super chats now? Can you litter train bunnies? Yes. Our bunnies are all litter trained. It's different than with cats. It's a bit more work, but our bunnies are all litter trained.
Rangers may also be working on Tyler Mott.
No.
So Motter out of Vancouver. It's a plan. See,
What?
so this is a plan. So the New York Rangers are doing what Pittsburgh's been doing, and I don't appreciate it. Picking up players that I like, now picking up players Yvonne likes, trying to get us to cheer for them. And I don't appreciate, like, Pittsburgh keeps trading for guys that I like.
Happen.
And it's not a nice thing to do. It's not a nice thing to do. So there's that going on. Why would they suspend Mr. Booth?
Are
Like
the Preds
anyways.
done? Things seem quiet for them right now.
Yeah, there's not a lot that needs to be done by them at all, really.
The Avs look to move Girard after recent struggles.
I don't think so. Yeah, he hasn't had a fantastic year, but I mean, Girard is still signed for a very team-friendly deal for quite a while.
Oh, the boys' messages left. Yes, I see.
Yep.
Purple in it. Okay. Yvonne.
About time.
Yes. No, I love Mott so much.
See, but Mr. Booth posts his other people often, and we know that happens. He got me a couple of times when he does that, so I don't know who reported him to Twitter, but that's ridiculous. Everybody knows what Mr. Booth does.
Thanks for the channel. I bet you two are great parents.
I don't know how much money I'd put on that bet.
I know. I think, like most parents, we don't feel like we're good
I think
parents.
I'm a really good brother. The problem is I don't have any siblings to prove whether or not that's the case. So,
like
bunny
rabbit fur in my mouth.
Well, yeah, it is waffles.
One thing with rabbits is their fur is so fine, it just sticks to your face and your nostrils.
Not like, oh, Mickey,
you won't
you're
even
so
know
fine.
it's
But, you know.
the...
Well, you said fine, and I get Mickey stuck in my head.
Oh, you're a goof.
You're a goof. Your head has a shell on it. Wait, I've got the same thing on your twice. I'm not very smart. Yeah, Rangers got caught.
Would Shannon consider selling his North Star jersey? He has several, and no, he doesn't sell his jerseys.
No, the North Stars ones, I can't find them now. So CCM jerseys, CCM lost the rights to make jerseys years ago. So whatever CCMs are out there, that's the end of them. And so yeah, I'm not in any any hurry to move any of my CCM stuff.
Shannon doesn't sell his jerseys.
I can't replace them. I'm really glad I collected what I did when I did, because now I can't replace a lot of the Reeboks, the CCMs, a lot of them. There's no way I could replace those.
I really like the Reebok jerseys too.
They snag though.
They do.
The replicas snag.
They do, but I like how the Reeboks fit a lot better than the Adidas. I do not like how Adidas fit. Yvonne, part of being a great parent is worrying that you're not a good enough parent. You two are great. I do tell, since we have 2 of our kids are teenagers, I do tell them sometimes, I know I'm not the best parent. I know I lose my temper, and sometimes I don't have enough patience.
Sometimes we abandon them at places that they, sometimes you just leave them places.
Can be really, really challenging. So, yeah, kids can be difficult, but we try. Mott for a 4th to the Rangers.
Oh, they did trade him to the Rangers?
It sure looks like it. A lot of people are saying it. So, yeah.
I don't want Mott to the Rangers.
So
they don't have him on there yet.
Looks like, yeah. Yeah, people are saying Mott to Rangers for a 4th.
That's it? I mean, I know Canuck fans do overestimate Mott's value, but that doesn't feel like it's very much.
It's what a lot of people are saying. I see a few. So,
but I mean, the Canucks were trying to work out an extension with him. They couldn't work out an extension. So either you trade him now,
2023,
or you lose him for nothing.
Round. Did you get a hold of the Avs' new Nordique jersey?
Is that the classic that I showed you?
That's what I was guessing too. Is that
Ben's got a shipment coming in of the Adidas Classics, the new Adidas Classics, which is going to include a few that I don't have. So if he gets the Nordiques, I will have it. I know that there's new ones. I saw it on Dick's Sporting Goods, has it on their website as well. The one thing with Dick's Sporting Goods, they do not ship to Canada, so I may see jerseys there, and then I'll email Ben and go, hey, so I saw this there. That's where I got all my really cheap jerseys last year too, so that was fun. Remember when I got the Huberdeau for $7 and the Carlson for $5 and the Kucherov for $5?
I'm sure most people on here remember that too, because you never shut up about it.
It was so
It only
funny.
took like a year and a half to get, because it was mailed to the States.
Totally worth it.
Right at the beginning. We're like,
totally worth it.
Guess we won't see that for
like,
a long
wait,
time.
Dick's is selling jerseys. I woke her up to show her. Middle of the night. I was like, you got to see this.
That is true. And I didn't think you would get them.
You got to see this. You're going to believe what they're selling these jerseys for.
See, and this is totally like the parent thing. We're like, Dad, we've already heard this time.
Yeah.
You've told us this story 30 times.
What?
See, and Lisa can vouch for me that, yes, Shannon has shared this story so many times. It was a computer glitch, and they actually sent them. Okay. Do you have any Ice Dog jerseys? I don't know why, but I love them.
Yeah, I don't have any of the Niagara Ice Dogs. I've been looking at some of the junior ones lately, but
because he's ran out of NHL jerseys.
It's a matter of when I'm going to wear them. It's a matter of when I'm going to wear them. So, like, I got a Sarnia Sting jersey a couple months ago. I haven't had a reason to do a Sarnia Sting video, so
Shannon's going to be like 80 years old, and remember that time that I got those Adidas jerseys?
Okay. You don't have to need Shadow. Please and thank you.
They accidentally marked him off for, I figured out the percentage. It was like 95% off. Somebody put the decimal in the wrong spot. It's going to be a thing. He'll be 80 and telling us the story of the cheap jerseys. They actually sent them. My wife didn't think they'd sent them, but they sent them.
Okay, Shadow, get her.
That's how that story's going to go.
Come on, I've trained you for years. Get her.
Who's getting the jerseys in your will? Do you know how often Shannon talks about that? He tells me frequently if I do some, you're not getting the jerseys in my will now.
I don't even know how that would work. I don't.
There will be a big garage sale. Everybody's
She's already
invited.
Planning it. I even found the sign.
Got the flyers all sorted out.
Not the Philadelphia Flyers, but the Flyers.
Those will go cheap.
Really? Great. Now I'm going to get emails from Flyers fans.
I could set up an email list. Shannon will be buried in a David Ayers jersey. He didn't get one of those.
I didn't get the Ayers.
No, he did not. People are not liking this mop for a fourth.
I'm not happy about it.
All.
I'm not happy about it myself, but I guess there wasn't much more value for Mott.
It is now 12 o'clock, so now we will find out the rest of the trades for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
Somebody says apparently the Wild have one more big trade coming. Maybe
they trade Kaprizov or Zuccarello.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Or Hartman.
And everybody do a collective. Ah, what are you doing?
Jacob Chikrin not moved, so nothing.
Can't bear. This is the shelf she's on when she wants attention. So she will just sit there and stare at shit. This is what she does. And if we weren't doing a video, she would be meowing non-stop. True. No, I vetoed that one. Who's the winner so far on trade day?
Minnesota upgraded their goaltending. I think Minnesota's the unofficial winner.
Oh god. But we'll see what else.
Yeah, there's going to be more that comes out. There's always more after the deadline that comes out. And now there's a lot of other stuff going on too. Yeah, there's some upset Canuck fans.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing on here too.
But I mean, for Mott, like, we love Mott, but I don't think he had more value than that anyways. He's a fourth line forward. He doesn't have a lot of goal scoring. He's an energy guy. He's a good penalty killer, but the Canucks penalty kill is nothing to write home about right now. What?
That's an idea. Before you die, you should sign all of your jerseys.
So ruin them all.
There you go. Yeah.
Just ruin every last one of them.
Yeah. You could just sign them all.
And we could trace them through the centuries.
Right?
No.
Good plan. Still sticking with the Lightning to 3-peat?
At this point, yes.
I vote no.
At this point, I'm still sticking with Tampa Bay. They've won back-to-back.
No.
I haven't seen anything in their game this year to tell me they can't win a third in a row. Florida absolutely should be able to beat them in a playoff series, but Florida hasn't won a playoff series in a long time. And I don't know who else is going to match up with them. And I like Tampa Bay's additions at the deadline. I think they have a very, very strong team.
Speaking of jerseys, I was disappointed there wasn't a prime green St. Patrick's Day Kraken jersey. There might be next year, though.
There will be next year.
There's been supply
line issues.
I was going to say, you have to remember it's been pandemic, and that has really affected textiles. And so it's not only the textiles, which were super duper duper back up, and they still are. Then you have the production areas that are making the jerseys as well. So if they were planning on making it this year, they probably didn't even get it. If they had wanted it, it would have been really hard to get it. So maybe next year. But all textiles are still really backed up.
Yeah. What she said.
I can see Vaughn forcing Shannon to sign each jersey before he takes his last breath. One more. No, don't go yet. One more.
My hand would just be dangling and she'd be moving it.
Just take a picture of you with the Sharpie in each jersey. Yeah. See? Ta-ta. Makes me sad the Stars don't get a lot of credit.
The Stars are an interesting one in that they're 1 point below the playoff line. They've got, I think it's 3 games in hand still on Vegas. I do hope that they end up jumping into the playoffs. I think it would be fun to see Ottinger in a playoff series, even if it was against the juggernaut that is Colorado. I think that'd be fun to watch.
Her version of your signature might be more legible.
It's true. Good signatures aren't legible, though.
Mine is mostly, but my name is easy for signatures. All the ends, so you just have to write the Y.
Mine has all the ends.
Yeah, you're true. But see, you have to sign it THG. That's not a good signature.
Why would I sign it THG? That's not my name.
It's okay. So many people don't know your name. Shane. Hey, Shane, buddy.
I've had that since I was a kid.
Right. You get emails to Shane all the time. And Sean. Hey, Sean.
Well, it's like I didn't know Michael Bublé's real name's Mike Smith, but he changed it to Buble because he thought that would sell records better. His real name's Mike Smith. Weirdest thing.
Dork. Okay, so the Sharks hand out another 8-year extension and acquire another goalie without trading one. I'm confused about what the front office is doing.
I'm shocked that we didn't see Aiden Hill traded. Maybe there's something in the queue. Frank Saravelli's already tweeted out that there are calls in the queue. Maybe we'll see something change.
Your name is THG. Yeah, Shannon does get called the wrong name frequently.
I used to get that at my church, and I used to. And the insulting
funny.
thing with that was that I was a deacon, so my name was in the program. So I'd get, hey Sean, hey Shane, hey Shelby. Shelby was the one that really confused me. I'm like, how do you get Shelby? And I felt like saying, can you look in the program? What's my name? Come on. Well, that's my name. But then eventually I quit going because if they don't remember your name, odds are they don't really care that you're there.
Move Nil to scout team and get a new GM. I'm bored of being a Stars fan.
Jim Nill absolutely does. I think he overrates the team at times. He makes some questionable moves at times as well. I like the fact Ottinger was in the minors at all this year baffled me because Ottinger had already proven he was capable at the NHL level. But yeah, I don't think Jim Nill goes anywhere unless Dallas completely falls apart.
What do you think Canucks could get for Besser?
At the draft table, I think they'll get more for him than they would have here. They have to sign him to an extension first if they want to move him. So sign him to that extension and then move him. Speaking of which, Debrusk didn't get moved. So Bruins signed him to an extension. They suckered him. He wants to get moved, and now he's signed for 2 more years. Ha ha.
Do we think Ronnie franchise is done?
I think so.
Your nickname is Welcome Back.
That is my show. Oh, here we go. Rickard Rakell to Pittsburgh. So Rakell was traded to Pittsburgh. That's a big one. Rakell's going to like it in Pittsburgh.
Rakell to Penguins. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. For a prospect and a pick.
Okay.
Kotkaniemi gets his 8-year extension.
Did the Penguins trade for anything so far? I've been at work all day. Well, there you go.
Rakell and Beaulieu have both been traded to the Penguins. And yeah, they've officially announced the Kotkaniemi 8-year extension. They had to wait till today to make it official.
Yep, Kotkaniemi 8-year deal comes with a $4.82 million AAV.
Yep. So there'll be a lot of discussion about whether or not he's worth it, but yeah, he'll be fine.
Info on Rangers Cup trade yet?
I haven't got all the details yet. That's one of the things that after we're done the live stream, I'll definitely be doing is picking up on who got moved for what and doing up boards on the trades that got made because there's a lot of them. There are definitely a lot of them. But yeah, the Capitals done. Johansson and Larson are what they picked up. So yeah, pretty. I can't say quiet deadline, but it looks like a lot of the bigger moves were made yesterday and over the weekend, which I think is good.
Any Blue Jackets news?
Domi appears to still be a member of the team. Right now they've got Kyle Dubas talking to the media, so I'm sure everybody in Leafland is quite happy with I don't understand what the Leafs have necessarily got in net. I guess it's going to be Shalgren and Campbell for the playoffs. Or they bring Mrazek back up for the playoffs because you don't have a salary cap in the playoffs. But do they have a goaltender that can lead them to a Stanley Cup? I don't know that Toronto does. So we may look back on this deadline as one that Toronto ends up losing just because they weren't able to figure it out. But Edmonton's in that position as well, where we may look back and say, they really did need to improve their goaltending. Something Ken Holland admitted he wasn't able to do in the offseason when he tried.
Yes, trade news will still come in. Usually it's like for the next 3 hours. You'll still get some trade news.
Yep.
Trying to think. It wasn't last year. Wasn't it the year before that trades were coming in for a couple hours afterwards.
Yeah, and this is the first.
They come in for a while.
Okay, so Pierre LeBrun's saying the Carolina Hurricanes made a late push for Max Domi, and he's not sure whether or not they actually got that move to go through. But yeah. Oh, Derek Brassard's a Miller. That's his 10th team.
Goodness. Thoughts on the new Red Wings additions?
I've always been a fan of Sundqvist. He's got some, as I said earlier, sandpaper to his game. I like Wallman. If Detroit gives him an opportunity, I think he's absolutely capable of becoming a top 4 defenseman. We'll see if they envision him being a top 4 defenseman or not, though.
How did the Caps do?
I like the Caps additions. Johansson already knows the team, so you don't have to worry about that. And Johan Larsson's had a decent year. I think they're going to like him in Washington as well.
How did Shannon become a Dallas fan, Yvonne? Because he was a North Star fan. He's done videos on that, explaining why he likes teams that he does, but because he was a North Star fan.
Yeah, I
know stuff.
I became a bandwagon Minnesota North Stars fan in 1981 because I was 8 years old and I didn't know any better. And so they went to the Stanley Cup final, and I was a fan of theirs from then on. And yeah, and then when they went to Dallas, I just remained a fan of the franchise. I didn't say, well, forget it, they've moved, so I'm not a fan of the team anymore. Although when the Quebec Nordiques went to Colorado, that is what happened, because I love the Nordiques and I was upset that Canada was losing a team. But yeah, I just remained a Dallas fan all the way through, and yeah, it's stayed that way.
Why am I a Jets fan and a Wild fan? Because have you seen their logos?
Yes,
it's true. It's true.
It's true.
Since I was little, so when I was little, my grandmother would take me to hockey games for my birthday, and it would a lot of times be minor leagues or just whatever hockey game. And so I wouldn't know the teams necessarily. And so I would pick which team I was cheering for based on the goaltender's helmet, because that's the best way to judge who your favorite team is, right? And so that's always been how I would pick the team that I was cheering for. And when those teams became teams, I really like their logos. I mean, look at them. They're great. And yeah, and they're fun to watch.
Good reasons.
That's how I picked my favorite teams. And then Canucks, because I've always been near the Canucks, and my grandmother really liked Canucks and the Leafs.
Yeah.
So Adelaide likes the Leafs. My mom is sure it's genetic from my grandmother. But yeah, I just picked based because I like their logos, and now they're fun teams to watch. Well, sometimes the Wild are not fun to watch.
The Wild have rough games. The Wild have some rough games.
They do. But that's how I pick
the Jets
those.
Can be a lot of fun to watch. Not necessarily for Jets fans all the time, but those games are fun.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes they're just
No.
If they have a 2-goal lead in the first period, my kids will be like, "Oh, look, they're doing good." I'm like, "Do it. Just shut your mouth."
See, that's how I feel with Dallas.
Nothing.
That 2-goal lead, I'm like, oh, great. Now they're ahead by 2.
Yes.
Great.
Watch them lose it now.
You doing, kitty?
But then when the other team pulls the goalie, I'm like, yes, they pulled the goalie.
Good kitty.
That usually means they'll get a goal.
Good kitty.
Anyways, so that's end of story time with Yvonne. Should Arizona consider Salt Lake City as a possible destination to move to?
That would involve the NHL would have to sign off on that. The NHL has been very vocal that they want to keep Arizona as a market. They feel that it's a big market. They can make it work. They're willing to leave them at the Arizona State University facility for 3 years with the idea of having the Tempe facility. I think if things fell apart, if Arizona wasn't going to happen, I think Houston's where they end up putting a team.
Oh, the cat's name? That one?
That's Bear.
Is Bear. We have an Instagram, THG Cats.
Yep.
And I post lots of pictures of the cats and the bunnies. It's been a lot of bunny pictures lately because the bunnies are always by me.
Well, because after they were born, it was fun to take
daily
pictures and videos.
That's true. But I try and post little things of the cats too.
Jet's so sociable. I haven't seen her since she came down here. She just goes into her house and stays there.
It's nap time.
Her dad would be so proud of her because that's what Pickle
A
does.
few people are saying Domi to Carolina.
So they did get it done?
I see quite a few now. Yeah, more of them. Domi to Carolina, according to Friedman.
Okay.
It must have just gone because everybody's saying it.
Because they said that was, you know, being discussed and everything. Yep.
Buffalo is done. I can hear the bunnies ripping up cardboard upstairs.
They're chewing on that big thick piece of cardboard.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
They like that one. Yeah, so Max Domi's in Carolina. We'll see what they get back for him. So that's another team for Domi. He's definitely been around the league a lot for a young player. And yeah, like I said, Broussard, that's his 10th NHL team. He's getting closer to Sillinger numbers. If he decides to stick around as a free agent next year and sign somewhere else, he can reach Sillinger numbers.
Yeah, after Bear got some love, she can focus again on looking out the window and washing. She bathes all the time.
Yeah,
she is like out of
She's
the cats.
the cleanest cat.
Yeah, she bathes all the time. It can be annoying sometimes.
Her brother sleeps or harasses other cats. That's his primary focus in life. Or just follows me around asking when we're going to go outside and play.
Hey, Vaughn, if you're a fan of logos, White's in San Jose, your favorite team, we have the best logo in the league. When San Jose became a team, I liked them because they had such a pretty color.
Teal. Everybody loved the teal.
Yes, because it's different.
Everybody loved the teal.
I do not like that there are so many teams that have the same colors. It is silly.
Yep.
Why are there so many teams that have black and marigold?
When San Jose was announced,
it's not
as an
like there's a
team,
shortage of colors.
Everybody was getting San Jose. I even had a San Jose jacket, and I didn't cheer for San Jose, but I had the starter jacket.
Yep.
Starter jacket. Yep.
Yeah, I did like the color, but yeah, I like the Jets in Minnesota.
Yeah, see, I if I was cheering based on logos, I don't know that Boston would be in my favorites.
No.
Dallas would be. I like Dallas's logo.
I know you do.
Although I like the old one better. But their current logo is pretty good too. Vancouver's logo. Yeah. I do like the skate, but I think
cracking
that's more
open
for...
a cold one. It's 12 o'clock, and I don't think that soda's very cold.
It's a Diet Coke. It's cold.
Nice. No, we don't. Oh, that's really cold. Bird.
Told you.
We don't really drink alcohol, so.
No, I don't drink. I stay away from it.
That especially wouldn't work while working. No.
No, my videos would be awful if I was drinking.
Does Shannon have a mini fridge in the room? He does.
Yeah.
It's right there, and it holds 6 cans.
I don't have it right now because I don't need, I don't have it turned on.
It's really cold.
Need it in the winter. So these months I don't need it.
No, it's nice and warm out. It's 6 degrees right now, so it's pretty toasty outside, right?
That's not bad.
I know. You don't even need a jacket now. So, Carpenter to Calgary.
Yeah.
Canada Dry Ginger Ale is good. They have the blackberry out right now, and the blackberry ginger ale is the best. So I usually get a couple of the cases of that because it's good. I like the blackberry one. The cranberry's not bad, but the blackberry Canada Dry is the best.
See, for me, I miss the old raspberry Schweppes.
Those were good too.
Raspberry Schweppes was the greatest. To me, that was what wine should taste like. Remember the first time I had it, I was like, that is so refreshing. I wish wine tasted like this. Wine doesn't taste nearly as good as you would think it would when you see people with their glasses and you're like, wow, that must taste great. And then, nah.
That'd be like
45.
42, I think.
So Elliot Friedman says Chicago and Cal, which is wrong, it's CGY. Talking Ryan Carpenter's the deadline hit. He doesn't confirm that they actually got traded
in the States. Well, soon we'll get to go to the States again. So
I hope so, because my Buffalo jersey's down there. My Buffalo Heritage jersey. I ordered it in the US because I was told that they were really short supply. So We've got it. You should go down and get that done. Why don't you go down and get that done?
Once they
Come on.
put lessen the restrictions.
Come on, get her done. You don't want to get replaced. I'm just saying.
Pardon me?
That, if I did post on, say, Indeed for an assistant, that, there'd be somebody who, and I'd probably give them about your pay. And so I'm sure there would be a lot of people. So Chris Johnston saying Ryan Carpenter's headed to Calgary pending a trade call. But it's after 12 o'clock, Chris Johnston, so the trade call should already have been made. So I'll put that on the board. Carpenter's a good player. Purely a fourth liner, of course. But yeah, Domi going to Carolina, that's an interesting one. If he can focus, if he can play the way that I know he can, he's a good pickup.
Oh, you guys. Yeah, Shannon's a brat. That's what he does.
Okay, so I'm just saying that if we
have... You can just
have...
not say. You can just shut your mouth right now.
No, okay.
Yes,
so...
it would be in your best interest to shut it.
Okay, so back in the 4th century...
You're smiling way too much.
if we go to ancient Greece...
Okay. Oh,
Space.
It's peanut butter cookies that Adelaide made because she decided she really wanted to make peanut butter cookies this morning. And for cookies, peanut butter cookies are pretty easy ones. So she's getting pretty good. We like to make fun things together. So
have some dignity there.
So she's pretty good. Do you think Islanders' lack of moves shows us that they're chalking this year up to 14-game road trip and COVID? Good group, bad year.
Maybe, but I'm surprised the Islanders didn't sell. I'm really surprised we didn't see selling from the Islanders because there's veteran players there they could have sold for draft picks that I don't think hurt them the rest of the way or necessarily hurt them going into next year. So kind of surprised Lou didn't make any big moves.
70 degrees here in Minnesota today. So great trade deadline weather. Let's go Wild.
Yeah, Yvonne's excited about Fleury playing for the Wild.
Yeah,
she can cheer for him again. Did you want to borrow one of my Vegas Fleury jerseys?
I have my own Vegas jerseys. Thank you.
But you don't have a Fleury jersey.
I don't think I do. I don't think I have any Vegas jerseys with names on them.
No, I didn't either. I just got the Fleury ones because they were $40 each. And I'm like, well, for $40, sure.
San Jose
from the NHL
2022 Stanley Cup champs. Stream big.
I mean, I guess if all the teams below the playoff line ended up being the playoff teams, just to throw things into chaos, but they're 7 points back, 10 points back. I think.
Totally happened.
Technically,
right?
But it'd involve like a meteorite and some kind of eclipse.
You're saying it could happen.
You'd have to have like a full solar eclipse and a meteor hitting. And then some kind of, I don't know, dolphin mishap in order for all those things to work out. It's difficult. It's a lot of things have to come together. The dolphin thing I can explain in another live stream.
Cop to the Rangers for picks and a prospect, apparently.
I'm sorry you lost Andrew Kopp.
Boo. I vetoed it too.
I know.
I didn't even listen.
I know. I love Andrew Kopp. Ranger fans are going to love Kopp. So they've picked up players in Vetrano and Kopp who are two of my favorites. Damn it, New York.
Yeah, they don't listen to me.
Nope.
Clearly.
The Rangers, Penguins, if that's your first round series, that's going to be fantastic now.
Are you familiar with the tragedy of Chris Chan?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Peanut butter muffins with chocolate chips. That sounds like a great thing.
Well, you can have banana chocolate chip muffins. They have those everywhere. Why don't you want a banana chocolate chip muffin?
Because that'd be nauseating.
See, because the banana, you just sort of chew it up and it just sort of slides.
You don't even need to chew it up. Yuck. Okay. Thoughts on Florida's roster for the playoffs?
Well, Florida has fantastic depth. Florida is in really good shape. Excellent depth from the top to the bottom of that lineup. I think that, honestly, I think one caveat that's in there is the fact they haven't had success in the playoffs, but all it takes is one run to change that perception, and I think they get there this year. They should. Nemestikov to the Stars.
I was just gonna say I see a few Nemestikov to Stars.
I'm okay with that. That's fine with me. I like Nemestikov. He's actually had a pretty good year.
No picks.
4th round pick for Nemestikov. All right.
Raspberry Schweppes expired 2016 on sale for $15 US for a single 2-liter. Ugh. Why?
Can't drink it. It wouldn't be carbonated anymore.
Ew.
The carbonation it's
tastes
gone.
like plastic.
Yeah, it would be nasty.
Yuck. Oh, please finish your thought on Appleton heading back to the Jets. Did you start talking about something
I like Appleton. He's a good energy player. I don't think that
Yes.
he had a great time in Seattle. I think that getting him back in Winnipeg will be best for him. I think it'll work out well for the Jets. I'd
like
also
him.
say
I'm glad.
adding Appleton and Sanford while losing Kopp will hurt on some level, but Appleton can provide a lot of what Kopp did. And Sanford, I think, with the move to Winnipeg, that should give him a bit of a boost too. Winnipeg is not throwing in the towel on the play. Excuse me, they're not throwing in the towel on the playoffs.
Did you hear what Dubas said about Blackhawks GM Davidson? Said he wasn't pleased his interest in Fleury was leaked and it's questionable by the GM.
Also, Brian Burke wasn't happy that it got leaked that the Canucks were asking about Marino. So there's not just the one situation like that. I do think that there are general managers who may not get along that well with one another. There are general managers who do business a little bit differently. And when names leak out to the press, that's going to aggravate certain GMs because it's also going to potentially affect the player that you're talking about. Like, for instance, when I was out there, the Canucks are interested in Marino. Good. So's everybody, including Pittsburgh. So, all right. Yeah, it is weird when names leak out like that. And I think it's tricky because then if as a GM, you then go back to that other GM and you say, hey, can we talk deal? The other guy you're talking to might say, well, look, the last time we talked deal, everything leaked out to the press, so I'd rather not.
Just got here. Boston make any more moves? Feeling good about them?
Boston doesn't end up moving Debrusk, which is a surprise, unless something comes out after. Like we've already seen a couple of trades announced since the 12 o'clock hour here, anyways. I like Boston's depth. I like adding Lindholm. I think that their goaltending is better than it gets credit for. I've argued that all season. I have never wavered on Boston's goaltending. Even when the numbers were bad and the advanced stats said they were terrible, I said, nope, they've not been the problem. I think Boston could surprise people.
I'm late. I know. Did the Sharks make any moves?
For the Sharks, they added Kakkonen from Minnesota. Going to Minnesota's Middleton. There's a draft pick involved in that trade as well. Other than that, there's not much. Now, what's interesting, of course, for San Jose is that means they have Kakkonen, they have Reimer, and they have Hill. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know if they planned on trading Hill as soon as they got Kakkonen because you've got to think Reimer's not going anywhere. So maybe that gets moved off to the offseason and they figure out what to do after that. But they did pick up Kakkonen from Minnesota.
What do you think of the Avs moves?
Love the Avs moves. I like picking up Sturm. I think Sturm's a good bottom six forward. Picking up Lehkonen and Cogliano. Both of them are good depth guys as well. Cogliano, it's a shame that he's not still in Dallas. I'll put it that way. I liked him in Dallas a lot. And him going to Colorado, that one stings.
Is Tampa done? What about their lack of offense? The Ranger game concerned me. Do they add a defenseman? Odds of a three-peat?
I still think they've got a good chance of winning. Adding Nick Paul's a good move. I think adding Brandon Hagel was fantastic. I guess the price for defenseman was too high for them at this point. So, yeah.
How many games will Kadri play in the playoffs?
If Colorado's going to succeed in the playoffs, they need him to play all of them. They can't afford to get him suspended.
Did the Leafs lose today hard? Goaltending seems like the weakest it's been in a while, like 2013 level or worse.
It's a rough day for Toronto. I will say this. They got Giordano yesterday. They really wanted Giordano. I do have some questions about Toronto going forward. And I don't know that they have a goaltender right now that can lead them through the playoffs, and that may ultimately put some heat on Kyle Dubas.
I'm disappointed the Penguins didn't trade for Fleury.
I am kind of surprised and disappointed by that as well. I think, if he'd gone back and finished out his career in Pittsburgh, that would have been nice. There's still the chance he signs there for 1 year next year, of course.
I'm hearing the hockey guy has been traded to Sports Center for James Duthie.
I don't know that James Duthie would like reporting from down here, and I'm not sure how that would work. I don't know that Yvonne
I would appreciate
would want somebody else here.
No.
She has a hard enough time with the entertainment guy because he's a prick.
I know, right? True story.
He can be a real jerk.
Do you think that Soup and Calgren are enough for the Leafs? Does Mark Giordano improve the defense enough to allow a rookie and a slumping goalie to thrive in the East? Blackwell third or fourth line?
Blackwell should be on the third line. I don't know that I like Toronto's goaltending right now, and I'm a big fan of Campbell. I hope he bounces back, but he's had a really rough time when he did play lately. Shalgren, up until a week ago, Shalgren. So I have no idea what to expect with Shalgren. I know that the game against Nashville kind of showed that maybe, again, as young goaltenders are exposed to the league more, the league figures out how to beat those goaltenders. So that could be a problem. I do wonder with Toronto, like they signed Sateri. I think the plan was to get him through waivers and use him. I don't know what they're going to do now. I would imagine as soon as that waiver claim came in on Sateri, they weren't very happy.
You have a waiver question. Is there a difference on how waivers work after the deadline?
If you claim a player on waivers after the deadline, I don't think that player can appear in the playoffs. The trade deadline is looking at the playoffs. You can make a trade after the deadline. It's been done. You can trade a player after the deadline, but the player you acquire cannot be on your playoff roster. This is the deadline for acquiring pieces you want for the playoffs.
Who did the Bruins get?
Josh Brown. Josh Brown's the only name so far for Boston on the blue line. He's a number 6, number 7 guy. He does take penalties, but he's able to drop the gloves as well. It's an okay pickup. The price for Lauzon clearly was high. That second round pick, I think that's high for Lauzon. And yeah, I think Boston did whatever they could. I think they were trying to move Debrusk, just nothing came out.
Somebody's saying you should be nice to TEG. He's helped you out a bit recently.
He's only helped me out because it helps his channel. So he came running to me the other day. He's like, "Hey, look, my channel got 8,000 views yesterday." And I'm like, "Oh, did it? Weren't they my videos that got those 8,000 views?" And he's like, "Now when they're on my channel, they're my videos." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then he wanted to go outside and play Rochambeau, and I said, "You can start without me." And I walked him out of the house. Dingus.
Dork.
He is. He really is. Thanks for backing me up on that.
Was Mrazek claimed?
Nope. Nobody claimed Mrazek. That contract, nobody was going to touch it. Can you imagine if he was, though? Toronto would have lost a goaltender and lost a goaltender and answered no questions for people who are wondering what they're going to do.
Is Jacob Middleton a top 4 blue liner?
No, he should be third pairing. Although his recent games for San Jose, I was starting to think, does he play forward because he was driving to the net a lot? So his game may be going through some changes here, and maybe he will show some more offensive acumen. Maybe he will end up being top 4. I think he's played relatively well lately for San Jose.
Thoughts on the Mott trade?
People are going to be upset about the Mott trade because Mott's a really good character guy. But for what he does on the ice, a 4th-round draft pick is a pretty fair return. He's a 4th-line player. There have been times he's looked like the best player on the Canucks because they were terrible under Travis Green. They've had some really rough runs. So I've been very happy with his work ethic. If the Canucks had a whole roster of teams with Mott's work ethic, they'd be in the playoffs right now. But I guess the extension talks didn't go well with Vancouver, and they had to make a deal because they didn't want to lose him for nothing.
What to do for dinner? Also thoughts on Dubas calling out Kyle Davidson despite no visible per P-League trades or desires.
Like I said, there are general managers who may not get along that well. I guess he got wind of something happening, and hockey hockey people talk. There's always a lot of chatter. Players, managers, coaches, they all chatter, they all talk. And which is part of the reason why when there's a scandal and people are like, oh, we didn't know what was going on. It's hard to believe because there's always a lot of gossip. For Dubas, odds are he was more frustrated than anything because he didn't get to make the upgrade he wanted to. And if it leaks out that he's after Fleury, that shows that he doesn't have a lot of faith in his goaltending. And yeah, he's probably ticked off because he didn't get the player he wanted, and he's mad that it got leaked out there. Part of the reason the GM would leak that out there too is now you're driving up the value because teams are like, oh, somebody's in on, okay, well, we want him too. So then you're calling the Chicago Blackhawks. As to what to do for dinner, pizza. Pizza is always a good idea for dinner. It's nutritious, it's healthy.
It's really not.
The bigger the pizza, the lower the amount of calories. What happens is,
oh my gosh, the number of calories in pizza's not
what
healthy.
happens is that you have a certain amount of gravity with a pizza because of its weight.
Shannon.
So that actually drops the amount of calories because that'll suck the calories out. So what you do is,
what sucks the calories out?
The
like
weight of the pizza,
or the floor,
the weight of the pizza, and then it goes into the box. That's why the box always has that there's greasy,
you're talking
greasy
about
mark.
Restaurant pizza. Okay.
So yeah, and then that actually takes the calories out of the pizza.
It's really good. I wish I had somebody on the Patreon Discord. They got a pizza oven thingy for their big barbecue. Yeah, it's so cool.
Pizza oven thingy.
Yeah, it looks really
Just
cool.
Get a pizza oven.
They're
cheap. I think they're like $40 on eBay.
They're
pizza
not.
Oven. They're easy.
No, I have no.
They're
users.
fine.
I was thinking about making a shepherd's pie. I have ground bison, but then I thought maybe I'll do that tomorrow. That'd be a fun birthday dinner.
We ground up a bison?
Yeah.
When do we have a bison?
I totally just ground it up myself. So maybe I still have corned beef from St. Patrick's Day. So maybe I'll make corned beef hash because yum. That's
all right.
It's great. Okay. Hold on. Let me double check. Can't believe we traded for Raquel.
Raquel's a good player. I think fans are going to be excited about Raquel.
Crosby, McDavid, Ovi, and Fleury to San Jose for 4th round pick.
I said that yesterday. Somebody was complaining about fake trades.
Big.
And I said, you mean McDavid's
so
not being traded?
So many. All the YouTube videos of, hey, could this trade happen?
Yeah, I don't do that.
Don't click on those videos. They keep making them.
They don't. Yeah,
It's so ridiculous. I think they come up with the most ridiculous thing ever.
And they just don't age well.
So they can,
So I stay out of that.
Click on it, and then we get the emails of what do you think about this trade? And I should just start emailing back, responding.
If the Kings didn't make a move today, how aggressive will they be in the offseason with Garland, Chychrun, or free agency? I think they would be in on both Garland and Chychrun. I'll go that far. I'm actually kind of surprised the Kings didn't make a big move today. I think Rob Blake wants to. I think they'll be very aggressive in the offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if they get both Chychrun and Garland because I think ideally what they're looking for is that top 4 young blue liner in Chychrun. He's fantastic. And Garland is such a really good energy level guy that I think that could work too.
Original pizza is not unhealthy. The thing with pizza is it's mostly bread.
It's bread.
And you can put
a lot of calories.
Your other stuff on it.
And then you have cheese on top. A lot of calories.
Which is yummy.
It's fantastic.
But it's just that it's so much bread.
It's fantastic.
You're supposed to have a lot of vegetables, and while you can put vegetables on pizza, it's not going to be the majority of the meals. So the trade deadline is over, but we will still be getting trades in for a bit. Usually 2 or 3 hours after the trade deadline, we get
about that
the ones that they finished up. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So you
should try reindeer pizza. Shannon will be doing videos on recapping this, so don't you worry.
Yep. I'll get it all
done.
Recap,
and he'll talk about it. So, do you guys
there's a
put maple syrup
on
pizza? Of course we do. You put maple syrup on everything.
But barbecue pizzas are better. Pizzas with chicken and barbecue sauce.
I had a chicken barbecue pizza
those are fantastic.
They're good.
They are fantastic. I used to get them from gyms all the time.
We have to finish the live stream, and then Shannon will have to make the board.
Max Domi has been traded, but Florida is involved in this one as well, which makes this weird. So Carolina, Columbus, and Florida are all involved in a 3-way deal. why would I, as Florida, want to help Carolina get Domi? Like, just that's one of those things where they could meet in the playoffs. I don't know that. But anyways, apparently it's a 3-way trade. That's why it hasn't been announced yet.
Zucchini pizza.
Haven't you tried zucchini pizza?
No. How would zucchini pizza work? I've had cauliflower pizza, and it's one of those. Some cauliflower pizzas are really good, and some it's like cardboard. But Boston Pizza has good cauliflower pizza.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
Yeah, they do. Boston Pizza is pretty good, anyways.
Butter chicken pizza is really good. If you haven't tried that one,
I was going to order that. That's from
pizza is amazing,
Boston Pizza,
especially
I think.
if it's grilled. I've never seen zucchini pizza. I love zucchini pizza, or I love zucchini. So
the Mott trade. So the question is, do you think the Mott trade was worth it for Vancouver? They had to move him. They couldn't sign him. Obviously, there was a gap in what he wanted to what the team was willing to offer. So yeah, you make the trade because you have to get something back. To get back a 4th round draft pick, that's the going rate for 4th line players.
Donair pizza. Well, that sounds amazing.
That would be good.
Who has Donair pizza? Because I would love to try that. That sounds great.
Do you think Minnesota has enough center depth for the playoffs? No. However, their blue line, now they've got Fleury and net, and just the way that Kaprizov can take over a game, they're going to be tough to play. They're going to be tougher, I think, to play against than they have been in a long time.
What's Chicago style pizza? I don't know. Donair pizza, Vancouver area.
Chicago style, I think, is deep dish.
That does not narrow it down at all.
What?
Most of the pizza places here in Abbotsford are like pizza / Indian food. So they make really yummy pizzas, like the butter chicken pizza, and lots of fun vegetarian ones. Kitty. But I don't think I've ever seen Donair pizza.
You're a good kitty.
Yeah, but that sounds really good. LA needs to cash in some of those prospects. Too many guys ready, not enough room on the bench. Kupari, Anderson, Dolan,
Velarde, Turcotte. I think they're going to end up moving at least one of them. And I think they'll move at least one of them looking for an older player, more established player. I don't know which prospect they move. I think Velarde's going to end up being traded. I just get the feeling Velarde might be on his way out of LA. It hasn't projected. He hasn't gone the way that they wanted it to. I would be kind of surprised if Vancouver wouldn't look at Velarde as the kind of guy they might end up bringing in. But yeah, LA's got a lot of guys that are ready and they're in a playoff spot. So I would think this summer they'll be quite aggressive.
What's he doing with the background wall? Packing it? Yeah, packing. Yes, he will be doing videos afterwards.
Yep. Pretty quick. We're gonna shut this down pretty quickly.
Pizza is huge in Calgary. See, now I'm gonna have to find where this Donair pizza is. I'm sure we have them.
You're gonna go to Calgary?
No, they've got to have it here.
If you get in the van,
Donairs everywhere.
Calgary's that way. You just drive as far as you can that way until you get to
Nanaimo bars. And we have
it's in that direction.
All of the Indian food.
If you leave now, you can get a pizza by
Korean
middle of the night.
Food and
I think it's a 12-hour drive Chinese from here. Food. I think it's 12 hours to Calgary.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
depending on the pass.
Go ahead.
So which road's open? I don't even know what passes are open now.
Don't worry about it. You can take a pass wherever you want to take a pass.
Yep. I love Donairs are great. And we have a new Donair restaurant that opened up recently. And I should go there because it sounds great. Donairs are fantastic. I like the ones in the food trucks. There's a really good one that comes to all of the food truck things.
Which goalie does San Jose move for Capo? It's got to be Hill. Hill's got to be the one that's on his way out, unless there's something they're looking at with Reimer where they're going to go with Hill and Kakkonen, but I would think it has to be Hill. Hill's had kind of a rough year. He had a good start, and then it's kind of petered out from there.
Oh, thanks for all you do, Shannon. Please do a review video.
Oh, of course.
There will be review videos.
I always do. It'll be far better put together than the ones from the last couple of years.
Hey, Shannon, thoughts on Linus Karlsson and Aiden McDonough on the Canucks?
Karlsson hasn't. I know Carlson's kind of the butt of jokes because that he's acquired in the Jonathan Dahlen deal. I don't think Carlson's progressed the way they want him to. McDonough, that's the one I'm thinking of. I think they envision him as being a player for them soon, but I think for Vancouver, they really do lack those top end prospects. Most of their top end prospects are already in the lineup. They could have had one last year in the draft, but they traded that draft pick to get OEL and Garland. And again, that was an iffy move, I thought, at the time. So hopefully this year they get another blue chip prospect.
Love from Chicago. Best to you on the new move.
Thank you.
Thanks. But we should get going so
Yes.
you can do all of the tons of videos.
I get all caught up. We'll be doing another live stream.
Cuban pizza.
I do have the intention to, after we've moved, I want to do a live stream once a week. Hockey card unboxing. I've got a whole bunch of hockey cards I haven't opened yet.
So many hockey
So
cards.
the plan is after the move that I'll do a live stream once a week, probably about half an hour once a week, where I just do unboxings. And people would tell me what they want to see me opening up because there's a lot of options. So yeah. All right. Let's go Rangers.
Thanks for the live stream. Love the channel.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming out. And we will be doing I'll be doing the videos. She's not doing anything. She's sort of she's my assistant. So she does the assistant stuff. So if you could just be nice and check the mail and that kind of stuff. Anyways, from me and from her. Thanks, guys, for coming out.
Did you just pat my head?
Probably.
Oh my gosh, did you guys see that?
As I've checked with human resources. That's okay. All right. So all right, guys, take care. And yeah, we will be doing more live streams. Boop. And all right, take care, guys, and we'll do this again soon. So thanks for coming out, though. This is always a fun day.
Good vibes.
Good vibes.